Right, folks, welcome back to Brew Time. We've got Bob Teahan from the machine shop back on. How you doing, man?
Very good, very good. How are you?
Yeah, all good, man, all good. I'm thinking I need some sort of like intro music or something for the podcast because I just start them. They just start and then they just end. It's like
I can make a few recommendations, but they might not be suitable for all users.
Whoa, like that. Right, I was just having a look before we started this. You were last on the podcast, episode 45, back in 2021. Now, I'd imagine a few things have changed in that time, Bob.
Yeah, we don't have any lockdown anymore. That's good.
Lockdown? What was lockdown?
I had a great time in lockdown. So loads of cycling, and about halfway through, I started running out of money, so I just opened up anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a ballsy move. That was a ballsy move. Like, obviously, everything's working out now.
Yeah, everything's working out now. Obviously, we took all reasonable precautions. We had screens up, we had gloves on, we had all the rest of the stuff that we needed to do. But it was a tough time. We had to do something. We've got a few customers in tonight. Do you want to come up, say hi?
For folks listening to the podcast, Bob is in the machine shop as we speak.
Yeah, Dell's making a fry up.
How you doing, pal? You all right? How's it going? Excellent. Good.
One of my customers, he built this bike here behind us.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's stunning. We're going to have a chat about that. That is beautiful.
Yeah, so we've got a few customers here tonight and I have bikes here currently that they're working on. I've asked them to stay quiet so while we're chatting. But what I'm going to do is hand over the phone to them. They're going to chat me through their bikes as well. So Dell will chat me through the CX here. Kev's working behind the camera there, and he will chat you through his. I'm not allowed to say exactly what it is because it's a custom bike. Is what? Race bike. Yeah. Race bike.
Race bike. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got Baker as well. He's just doing a few bits of maintenance for our own.
Awesome. Right, for folks listening onto the podcast, you might want to watch the YouTube vid as well then and see these. That bike behind, that is stunning. What a piece of kit. What do you want to do then? Shall we start with that one, or do you want us to have a little chat first?
We'll have a chat first. Yeah, have a chat first.
Okay, really good, guys.
Chat to you in a wee while. Cheers now. Right, yeah, so, 2021 to now, what's going on? What's been happening?
What's that? 2021 till now. Sorry, I've a gate by the where the tools are. Stop people taking all my tools all the time. 2021 till now, what's been happening? Learning a lot. It's been great fun. The word that sticks out most is fun. It's been hilarious. It's been absolutely just never stop smiling all the way through. There's been a few hiccups here and there, but we've had fun sorting them out as well. So stuff that we've done loads of racing, loads of track days. Been involved in lots of festivals. We've had our own bike nights, like our own little mini festivals. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen some of the Instagram posts. Just going strength to strength, really. I can't complain. Loving every minute of it, and it's just a great adventure, best adventure I've ever had.
You seem to really be like developing and nurturing a really good community spirit over there. That's the one when you look at your like your Instagram account, folks. I'll leave links for it down in the description. Make sure you check that out. But when you check out your Instagram, I mean, you're always smiling, you're always having fun. It looks a blast. It reminds me of what, like, you know, when people talk about like bikers, proper bikers, like in the 70s and 80s, it reminds me of that. Like you guys just seem to be having a scream all the time.
That's what we're trying to aim to do. We think that biking or bikers have kind of lost their way a little bit. It's all about like the latest gadget and the latest.
It's quite sterile now, isn't it?
That is so sterile. Everything's done on finance and credit cards. Nobody kind of gets their hands dirty anymore. Everybody's terrified to touch their own bike and working on their own bike. That's not what made bikers. What made bikers are being a little bit leery. Not troublesome, but a little bit leery. When you break down the side of the road, you didn't have the RAC to come and get you. So you had to pick it yourself. It's that humility of being a biker. And that's what we're trying to nurture here. There's no attitudes around this place. It's all super friendly. You come in with no skills and you leave knowing something. And the more you come here, the more your knowledge grows and the more you kind of become one of us almost.
Yeah.
And the best thing, it's not clicky here. It's not clicky at all. If you come in as a total fucking idiot, you get an extra welcome because you're here and you're willing to learn. It's very like a gym. Like when massive fat person goes to the gym first, nobody laughs at them. They encourage them. They want, come on, let's learn more. Let's get you where you want to be, and that's what we do here.
Unless you turn up in a Harley.
Right? Yeah, sorry, what was that?
I said, unless you turn up on a Harley.
Unless you turn up on a Harley. We have allowed 1 or 2 Harleys in.
They're now allowed, are they?
It depends on the person. If the person doesn't look like a Harley rider, we're kind of like, okay, right, come on in. We'll teach you the error of your ways, and hopefully get you to buy a good bike. I love sports bikes. I love adventure bikes. I love electric bikes. I can't stand Harleys. I cannot stand Harleys.
Electric? Do you get many electrics in now then into the machine shop?
None at all. Yeah, we've had 1 or 2 come past, but it's mostly like Surons and that sort of stuff. Personally, I love electric. I can't wait for it. It's really exciting.
Why is that then?
Well, the possibilities are endless with it. Like we've kind of reached what the end of what an ICE engine can do.
Yeah.
We've not really made any developments with internal combustion in a while. We're just getting a little bit more efficient all the time. They'll probably get another 50 horsepower MotoGP bikes, and then that's kind of the limit of what we can do. You can go into stuff like pneumatic valves and fancy kit like that, but it does have a limit. Whereas electric stuff, you just keep feeding it power and it goes faster and faster and faster. What we need to do is lighten the batteries and make the chassis a bit better. And I think that that's the next big leap forward in motorsport.
Yeah, I had some folk on about electric bikes a year or 2 ago, and we had a big long chat about it. And what struck me about electric was that it seems like a very modular concept. It's particularly the live wire, the Harley live wire. That in particular is one where everything's just sort of bolted on around that engine as such, or the battery, and it really lends itself to customization. I remember having a discussion with them at the time saying, I could see the custom market of electric bikes being massive, because it kind of looks, I'm no mechanic obviously or electrician, but it looks like it would be fairly straightforward to bolt different bits on. I know the Long Way Up lads, Ewan and Charlie, the team behind them, when they did that.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, they obviously they fully customized a couple of live wires that they took away as well. I've actually got Charlie coming on the podcast in a month or so, and it'd be interesting to chat to them about what sort of issues they had with customizing the electric bikes and what the future is going to be for that.
That's just going to be all the same kind of stuff going forward. Like we always find a way to customize them. I think the biggest issue we have at the moment is the batteries. I think it could be very easily solved with modular batteries. So every battery at the moment is built into the bike. You can't remove them.
Yeah.
So imagine if you had a petrol station. And natter in the background. If you had your petrol station and you pull into your petrol station, it's got a big bank of batteries there, about that long, about 4 inches wide, that kind of way. Yeah, and they're all charging. You pull in your moped takes 1. You pull in your motorbike, that'll take 2. Yeah, so you pull your own batteries out and you swap them for these ones.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you pull in the car, and the car has 10 of them. Or you pull in a truck and it's got 40 of them. They do it in Taiwan already. Kevin's just informed me here. And I don't see why that's not viable. Like, it'll get rid of all the issues with battery or Teslas being scrapped once the batteries become bad.
Yeah, I chatted to them about that actually, because that was my thoughts, was that as soon as the batteries can become interchangeable to that extent, where the convenience of petrol is there with electric, as you said, you just rock up, take the dud battery out, pay for the new one, whack it in. But they pointed out at the moment, the current battery technology for a bike, it's roughly around about a kilogram in weight of battery for every mile you can do on the bike. So if you want 100, which most electric bikes at the moment, you're getting a usable range of about 100 miles roughly to a charge.
I keep making noise back.
Yeah, at the moment, where they're currently at with the battery technology for bikes just now, most of the electric bikes have a usable range of about 100 odd miles, some a little bit more, some less, depending on how you ride it. But if you ride it the way you would, certainly the way I normally ride a petrol bike, if you ride that on an electric bike, lots of different types of riding, you're going to get roughly 100 mile. So that equates to about 100 kilogram battery, because it's a kilogram for every mile, roughly, with the current battery technology. Which is why you just can't, obviously what you're saying about making them modular. So say for a bike, you could have, I mean, you'd need to make it usable, wouldn't you? You'd need 10 kilogram batteries effectively, where we currently are. And then what they also said was, well, how do you QA that? How do you bring quality assurance across all of the, not just that one petrol or electric station where all the batteries are monitored and they're all within acceptable levels, because obviously they deteriorate with time. But how do you do that like nationwide or globally? And it just sounds like it's a logistical nightmare. But if they're doing that in Thailand already, there's obviously a successful model. So why are we not following that?
Yeah, there's lots of teething problems. Like when fuel came out first, there was one before kerosene. It was just crude oil, and then they started making kerosene. So kerosene was the first type of fuel. Then there was diesel, then there was TVO. TVO is probably a lot even before your time. That's what they put in the tractors. And then there was petrol. So there was 5 or 6 different types of liquid fuel before we settled on petrol and diesel.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And we're not even finished with it, because we just came out with that fucking E10 shit. That's another version of fuel that won't work on other cars, like all bike and all the cars. So we're just developing things all the time, and batteries will be the same. It won't be long. I'm really excited about it from a racing point of view, because there's no limits there, and all the technology from racing will trickle down. So if you have, imagine the TT was done on modular bikes, on modular batteries. And you do a lap, you swap your battery, you do a lap, you swap your battery, you do a lap, you swap your battery. Then all of a sudden you've got a market there for batteries that last twice as long. And people are going to win, pay tens of thousands for one battery. So that's an incentive for battery manufacturers to manufacture a battery that has ability to last twice as long. So graphene, graphite, that sort of stuff. And then they'll buy that battery, they'll do 2 laps on the one battery, they'll save those 15 or 40 seconds in the pits, and they'll win the race. It's that fast. And Honda done something like that back in the 70s. They went around TT and they pulled in, and usually it's like about a minute to fill the fuel up at that time, because they're using jugs.
Yeah.
What Honda did is they had a big strap. They had the strap over the back of the tank. They lift the strap up, took tank off, put a new tank on, full of fuel, and off they go. So it brought it down from just under a minute to 10 seconds, and they won the TT. It wasn't the fastest bike there. It was just because they were able to get 2 laps in faster than everybody else. It's all about thinking. I think batteries will do something similar, and I'm very excited for the future. But you get all this shit on Facebook and Instagram about, it doesn't make no sound and it doesn't do this and does that. I don't fucking care. Like, if you're riding a bike properly, you don't have time to listen to it.
And a lot of people, I mean, electric bikes are bloody noisy. It's not like they're like stone cold quiet. They're fucking noisy things. I've ridden loads of them, and they do make a heck of a racket. I tend to find a lot of the critics of electric bikes are people who haven't ridden one. Not always, but a lot of them are. And it's the same with everything, isn't it? You get it with bikes. People don't like adventure bikes, or, I'll bring the GS up. We're long enough into the podcast. There's critics of that particular bike, and they've never even sat on one. It's just human nature, isn't it? And it's different.
I critique the GS quite harshly. The bike is great. It's the cunts that ride them.
Yes. Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's I get that. There's different types in that. Takes all sorts.
I think that people should ride an electric bike, because remember you ride this is Kevin.
Hi Kev, how are you?
So Kev's a design engineer. He builds motorbikes for a living. Well, designs motorbikes for a living.
Awesome.
He sits at a desk.
Same as me.
Drawing pictures. So he borrowed a live wire from work, and he was saying it's like the three thing you've ever.
Yeah, there was no theatre to it and no character. I wouldn't take it out for fun, but I really like to just go from my house to my gym in Lake through about 10 sets of traffic lights, 5 o'clock in the evening in traffic. And what I really like is like you can filter to the front of the traffic, and then you sit there and take your hands off. It's not hot, it's not vibrating. You don't have to find neutral.
Yeah.
And then it's right on screen. You're not like, normally I'd be commuting on like an RSV4 or my Tuono, and on that I'd be waiting for all the other lights to start changing. Then pull the clutch in, find first, and it'd be ready to go. And you're kind of stressing out a little bit.
Try and start
like,
it. All that.
First. And there was just none of that, and you were just pulling away faster than everything else.
Yeah.
And very, very stress-free from that point of view. But pros and cons, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's a different experience riding electric for sure. Yeah, it is more relaxing. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. It's a more chilled out ride, but it's intoxicating, isn't it? That grunt, the acceleration those things have got, just makes you want to rack the throttle every time. But then your battery just goes straight down. But yeah, I enjoy them.
Didn't you get thrown out of the Met for whacking throttle on?
No. I resigned.
You resigned, okay.
The thing I'd say though about like whacking the throttle on is coincidentally leaving here one evening, and it was November, so it was just starting to get frosty. I was coming out of the estate and I whacked the throttle on, and it started to spin up the rear and came around on me very fast.
Jeez.
And you don't, well, I feel like I would have caught that sooner if I could hear an engine going. So, I'm used to riding dirt bikes, so I don't have traction control or a red attack or anything like that. But you don't hear anything going. Like the rear starts spinning up, and you don't quite get the same sensation of when you've lost control.
Yeah, I got a text when he arrived home. He was like, not sure if it slipped me out or if it was the bike, but I nearly put it in the truck.
Yeah, you do have to dial your brain in more with electric because, as you said, you haven't got a lot of the indicators as to what sort of throttle you're doing, do you? Like the engine isn't screaming; it's just it might whir a bit more. That's about it.
They're really
I never thought we'd be having a discussion about electric bikes. Not in a million years did I think that this chat would go down electric route.
Oh no, we love it. We're very progressive at Machine Shop. Extremely. No, it's a good way of putting it. We're very progressive. It's probably because we're all racers. We're looking for the next thing all the time. Yeah. What's going to be faster? What's going to be beating the lap times? We have to look to the future as a racer. And I get pissed off when I go to races and everybody's saying, "Oh, it should be 2-stroke." I'm like, fuck 2-stroke. It's cool. It's fucking cool. But there are steam trains and we don't use them anymore. We've got better technology now. And I think if you kind of flip that the other way, electric's the next thing. I'm really excited about it.
See, I kind of like 2 years ago, that was my thinking was, right, we're moving towards electric. But I've really reversed my opinion in the last couple of years. I get the impression the industry is and the governments are just starting to put the brakes on it, and they're just kind of going, whether it's because they're realising we're not really ready yet, we haven't got the infrastructure, no matter what they say, it's just not in place yet. And it's like, well, I get the impression they're not pushing it the way they were. Like, is Moto E, does Moto E still happen? Is that still going on?
They've finished with Energica, and now they're changing to Ducatis for next season.
They're doing the Ducati, are they? Going down that route? Right.
There's slightly less power, but better power weight ratio, but lighter.
I think that's so fucking cool.
Ducati's going electric. Yeah.
Yeah, Stark are doing some really, really cool stuff. So you know the Stark Berg?
No.
Oh, so it's a motocross bike. And I believe it's the first, so Kev's a motocrosser. I believe it's the first motocross bike that you can wheel out the crate, electric. And it will,
it's the best way to put it because it's the same weight as a fully fueled 450. They claim it will last as long as a fully fueled 450, so they'll do a 35-40 minute moto.
The moto is a race in motocross.
But it's 80 horsepower for one. And more importantly, motocross is it doesn't have you don't have gears. So you've so much more time to concentrate on what you're meant to be doing with your body position and going through the corners, and you have torque when you need torque, which is what motocross bikes are about, really. So I know, like Sebastian Tortelli, who's the test rider for Stark, was like 2 seconds a lap faster on the test track on the electric bike versus like a standard 450.
Wow.
And one of my mates is a test rider for another company has ridden it, and he said, like, he's an old school. He rode MotoGP in the mid-90s. So he's old school, but he said it was his favorite motocross bike he's ever ridden. He absolutely loved it.
Wow.
Kev mentioned a good point about them a few weeks ago is you come into a left-hand corner, you can put your foot out and you can drag the brake because you're using your right foot to brake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're going to the right, your foot's out trying to stop your scrub, so you have no rear brake.
Huh.
Whereas on an electric bike, your brakes are up here.
Yeah, good point.
Talking about stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to dick around with the clutch. You don't need to be wondering, am I in neutral? Am I here? Am I there? The stats are scary because the motocross bike, a 450, which is the big boy bikes, they're doing like 80 horsepower and something around similar in torque. So it's like 75, 80 torques on a motocross bike. The start barg is nearly 1,000 torques in millimeters.
What?
I know.
Yeah, from zero.
From zero. So it doesn't even have a power band. In other words, 2 strokes get into a power band.
Uh-huh.
That's straight away from just crack the throttle open, you got 1,000 newtons torque. It's more than my van.
How'd you put that power down?
You don't. Like, you should see the videos of fuckers riding these things. It's hilarious. It's really good. But they're just incredible. And they're just effortless to ride them as well. So that's the first step of what we're saying about what racers are looking forward to the future all the time for the next bit of technology. That's the first kind of view that we have on it. These motocross bikes are beating internal combustion race bikes, these electric ones. So, like, that's going to happen across the board and everything. I believe it anyway. We're going to end up going that way.
Yeah. So, in terms of electric being the future, then how's that going to work with the machine shop? Are you going to have like an electric wing there?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'd love to get my hands on a start barg and take the motor out of it and build a chassis around it and build a race bike out of it. What was that series before with the Aprilias?
450 GPs or something.
Yeah. So there was a series before. I don't think it took off, but it was a great idea. It had you buy an Aprilia SVX 450. It was like a little V twin, and you could get it came as a supermoto. You could get supermoto tires for it. You could get motocross wheels for it. You can get different suspension kit for it that made it into a track bike.
Wow.
And then you could go racing with an RRV. So it was 3 different bikes with one chassis, one engine. Imagine if you had that in the start bar. Yeah, you could take that bike and you could race it up at Mallory at the moment if there was a class for it. That's what I'd love to get involved with when I'm a millionaire. When I'm a millionaire, not if, when.
Like it.
That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to support a bit of racing in the UK because, as far as I'm concerned, it's fucked. With all the noise restraints and insurance and just the sheer cost of it. It's just racing isn't. We've got nobody in MotoGP anymore apart from Rory Skinner and the Lowe's boys. But that's what I'd love to do.
Dixon's in it as well now, isn't he? Is it Dixon? Moto 2, yeah. Moto 2, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I see happening. All I see is just, you've got an output shaft to the chain. It's a power source. So it doesn't matter if it's internal combustion or electric or anything or steam. We're actually, do you know what KERS is?
Who?
KERS, KERS. It was a technology they used in Formula 1 years ago. And it was a braking system. When you hammer on the brakes, instead of using brake discs, you used to spin this metal ball. Yeah. Really, really fast, up to about 40,000 RPM. Yeah. And what they'd use then is that would be spinning while they're on the brakes. And then that power that it's connected, the kinetic energy, they'd use that to shoot out the corner again. So it connected to the wheel.
Wow.
No, we want to build a bike with that system.
Wow.
It could be a drag bike. It's purely just for the fuckery of it.
I was going to say, that would make going around corners interesting, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be a drag bike. And it's terrifying. Yeah. But that's just, we want to do crazy stuff like that. Like you've seen the stuff that we build here. It's all about having fun, and we don't take it too seriously. We don't really get involved in the rest of the custom scene because it's all a bit.
Apologies for interrupting, folks, but a quick shout out for this week's sponsors, who this week are Ultimate Add-ons. Bit of spiel to read out for them. Ultimate Add-ons are the premium manufacturer of mobile phone and action camera mounting solutions for motorcycles. With a kit for any bike and a proven track record of creating products that keep your devices safe, secure and easily accessible, the Ultimate Add-ons product range is ideal for any rider, from the commuter to the round-the-world adventurer. Why shell out on an expensive GPS system when you could use your smartphone, keeping it charged and within reach to take photos of your travels at the same time? Ultimate Add-on's waterproof, shockproof and dustproof tough cases are available for all flagship smartphone models and are designed by riders for riders. Find out why Ride Magazine gives Ultimate Add-ons their coveted Best Buy certification. Keep riding this winter with Ultimate Add-ons. It's all about the journey. Now, if you head to Ultimate Add-ons, links down below, it's just Ultimate with ADDONS, all one word, ultimateaddons.com. Use the code TeapotOne, that's Teapot with ONE at the end, TeapotOne, then you'll get 10% off their entire product range. That also works for Dango Design UK as well. I've never had any vibration issues with the cases that I use. I've got one for my iPhone and I use the Hex sort of strap. It's in the pedal cycle section. It's just like a ratchet strap, which allows you to pretty much attach it to absolutely anything. And then your case attaches to that. So a massive thank you to Ultimate Add-ons for their continued support. Okay. For those that haven't listened to the first chat we had, or anyone that's not familiar with what the machine shop is, give us a quick sort of synopsis. What is the machine shop? What's the idea behind it?
So the machine shop is an open access workshop where you can come and use all of our kit for a monthly subscription. So it's very much like a gym. Say if you want to start working out, you'll go to the gym, you'll pay in your monthly membership, and you'll use the weights bench, treadmill, the showers, whatever else, the kit that they have there. That saves you money because you don't need to spend 60 or 70,000 pounds on equipment to fit out your home gym. We've done the exact same thing, but we've taken the treadmill and replaced it with an actual mill, a big metal mill. We've taken the weights bench and put a bike bench. So we've all got hydraulic bike benches like what's here behind you. We've got stand blasters, paddle covers, pipe benders, welding machines, MIG and TIG. We've got tire machines, hydraulic presses, English wheels. We've got a full custom engineering workshop here, and you can build anything you want.
And where are you based?
We're based in Hinckley. We're about 5 minutes away from the Triumph factory, and we're about 10 minutes away from the M1. What junction is it? 21. Junction 21. We're about 10 minutes away from Junction 21 on the M1.
And are you still open effectively 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
That's what we're famous for some reason. So our official working hours are 2 p.m. until 11 p.m. Monday to Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday we do 10 a.m. until 11 p.m. And I don't do all of those hours anymore. We've got a bit of help now. And those hours are taking a negative effect on my work life and my home life as well.
I was going to say, have you managed to find the balance yet?
I'm getting there. I'm definitely closer to it. I'm working significantly less than I used to. I was doing something like 110 hours a week.
Yeah.
Just setting up the business and making sure everything was right. And when you're doing something you love, you never want to leave it alone.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a great sleeper anyway, so if I wasn't sleeping, I'd just come down here and just fiddle bits and set things up. But it's a significantly different shop to what it was when we were talking last. We're a lot more professional, a lot more slick, a lot more friendly, and a lot less drunk.
Yeah, but I think the entire nation was like bordering on being an alcoholic, wasn't it, during lockdown? That's kind of all there was to do, wasn't it? Sit at home and drink.
We're like that before.
I'm doing my best to help out here, mate. That's sort of something. It's been a bit of a voyage for me as well, because obviously around about the same time that you set up Machine Shop, I went full time at this malarkey, and it's been a bit of a voyage for me as well. Trying to find that balance between putting everything into your work, but also like remembering you've got a life outside of your business as well. And I've sort of gone from both ways. I've gone throwing everything into it, and then for a while, I think I probably took my foot off the gas too much, and I wasn't working enough. And I'm sort of now getting back into it. I think I'm starting to get there now. We'll see.
Yeah, it was a hard lesson for me to learn. I was always kind of like, I'll get there. I'll work less, and then I got dumped. so it was a bit like a Canaan. But lessons learned, and it's kind of kicked my arse into gear to sort out this place to work on its own, because it's not really a business if you have to work on it all the time. It should be kind of ticking away. So that's what this year is all about. I want to be kind of really hands off it by the end of the year. But it's still kind of a scary thing. Nobody's ever done anything like this before. There's no format that I can just copy. We have to make new systems and make new controls and make new everything. But some of the systems that we're putting in, the technology is really, really cool. Like for me, it's really cool to see all these ideas that I had like 6 or 7 years ago kind of coming into play. For example, when I started dreaming up this idea for the business, I was thinking, how do I keep people safe? And most importantly, how do I keep HSE out? Yeah. How do I stop them from fucking me over? So I was thinking, I'm going to be bringing, people that have no experience in off the road and say, here's a big piece of heavy machinery.
Yeah.
Off you go. But that's obviously very irresponsible, at least. And what we do is, I'll just grab the phone out a little bit and walk around.
Right, we're going to get a tour. Honestly, folks, if you're listening, you want to watch this as well.
So this is the metal mill. This is probably the most daunting piece of equipment that we've got in here. I'll just hold the phone a little bit further away. So it's a big metal mill. It's nearly 2 horsepower machine. This thing will not just hurt you, it'll take a limb. So when that turns, you've got 2 horsepower going through that. Where I was working before, I seen a fella get wrapped in one of these and his hand got pulled in, done a lot of damage.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, it broke all his hand and dislocated things and made a bit of a mess. So what we do now is when you join up, you get a membership card, and the membership card is suited to you only. You put your membership card in there, and this machine still won't turn on. Okay, so what you do is you scan your phone on this, it brings up a little training video. And the training video is not going to do like a 4-year apprenticeship in a few minutes, but what it does is teach you how to not get killed on the machine.
Yeah.
So once you go through all that, you answer a few questions, and once you get the questions right, we will your card is allowed to use on the machine. So it's all automated, so I don't need to talk to people anymore. That's the goal. Self-training machines. And then we've got other things like this, which is specific to us. We've got these tripwires. So if the worst happens, you do get pulled into the machine, you touch that wire, and it will actually, stop. We've got an electric brake up on the top of the machine. It'll turn the machine off.
Like a kill switch.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, but it's not just kills. It doesn't just turn it off, but it's a brake. It's literally stops the machine, which we've never seen on any other machine before. It's something that we developed ourselves. So something similar there on the lathe, and we've got loads of dangerous equipment. We've got bandsaw there. Again, we've got all the card readers and stuff up on the wall. So we've got another system as well for taking care of tools. When we first started this place, it was nearly impossible to manage the tools. There's so many tools, there's so many people coming and going. We just couldn't track anything anymore. So what we have now is my beautiful assistant. I'm going to grab me a tool there. So you'll see there just on the back.
Barcode.
Everything's got a barcode, and then everything gets scanned on the barcode. Then it goes up on the computer screen there behind Faith, and we just log everything.
Who has what?
Who has what? When they took it out, if they brought it back, and when they fuck off without bringing my stuff back, I can look on the spreadsheet. It gives me their phone number. I ring them up, call them a cunt, and and
wait, that's a really swish system. Did you design all that yourself then?
Yeah, that's what I do when I'm not sleeping. So I did have a lot of help. Like I can't do all this stuff myself. I'm only a mere welder. I have no GCSEs or anything. I teach myself all this stuff myself. So the card reader system that works on the mill and the lathe and the big heavy equipment, that software was designed by one of my customers who's a software developer. So we built that together. He was showing me what to do and where to do it. And then we have these little computer systems that are inside of it. They're called Arduinos. So they all need coding. There's a lot of time and a lot of expense gone into these systems, but that will do us justice later on when we're expanding, let's say. And
that brings me on to what I was just thinking about, actually. When we first spoke, when we last spoke, you had your idea, your plan for the future was to not I suppose franchise it almost, but to open up different branches in different parts of the country. Where are you at with that then?
We've kind of gone away from that because we haven't gone away from that. That is the goal. but it's kind of a long-term plan. We're another few years away from it yet. We need to get this place right. And then what we're going to do is move it to a bigger premises. We've got a lot of plans for that. I don't want to discuss them yet because it's intellectual property. I don't want people knowing. There's we see a few imitators. A few imitators springing up from time to time. So we're just trying to keep our ideas to ourselves for now. But we are working on something. So in terms of expanding and getting multiple different locations, not quite yet. We're probably a few years away. But hopefully within a year we can announce our plans for what we're going to be doing next, and it's going to be fucking big and fucking cool.
Well, mate, listen, if people are copying your idea, that's a good sign. You know,
imitation
is the best form of flattery.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you obviously you're doing something. I'll tell you, like, folks, if you went to this year's NEC show at the bike show in Birmingham, you couldn't not have seen the machine shop stand. You were probably one of the biggest stands there. In all the content I saw to do with the bike show, you're prominent in just about every sort of like pan shot you see of the halls. You can see where you guys are. And out of everybody there, your content that you were pumping out on social media was the most engaging and it was the most fun because you had all sorts of competitions, didn't you? You had like a tire changing competition. You were doing like welding in. I mean, how'd you get away with that? How'd you get away with doing welding in there?
I must say, it wasn't me. It was all Maria. So you've seen Maria. So it's impossible to miss Maria. So she was the brains behind all of that. I just did what I was told.
Yeah.
And she's like, put that there, put that there, put that there, and I'd forget half of what she was saying. She'd get angry. She was the boss of that, and she absolutely killed it. Absolutely killed it. And she worked so hard. It wasn't just the 9 days of the show. She put in 5 weeks of work before that. Just with health and safety and risk assessments and method statements and all that shite that you need to put in. I don't know how she done it without tearing her hair out. It was really impressive. Fair play to you. Well done, Maria. She'll be watching this later on. She'll be taking notes. And you should have said this. And why did you say that?
I know you. You should have done that. You should have done that. I mean, the whole. Sorry to interrupt, but the whole look of your brand is just. It's not even gone up a level. It's on a different level. I mean, obviously things progress anyway in business, don't they? But I mean, your Corp ID now, those cars, the black and yellow with the white, it's just beautiful. The whole Corp ID and the brand is just cracking. You're real on point with it.
Thank you. That was all developed from an Irish road racing thing. So another, like the chevrons that we use.
Yeah.
Now, when you go into a bend or a corner in the UK, you've got the chevrons that are white and black. In Ireland, they're black and orange or black and yellow.
Right.
So it's an Irish road racing that brought over. So and then I developed the logo a few years ago because I was just sketching things. And holding verniers. And it's kind of a cool, fun logo. And I didn't want anything too serious because lots of brands come out and everybody's got a t-shirt brand these days.
Yeah.
And everything's all like skulls and spanners and fucking this and that. And I'm like, fuck that shit. Like, I'm not 16 anymore. Like, what can we do? That's a bit more fresh, a bit more sharp and clean and doesn't look like a tattoo. And that's kind of what we come up with. It's a little bit more corporate than the typical stuff that you see, like custom shed builders kind of coming out with. And we wanted to set ourselves away from that and provide a bit more of a professional service than what they'd be used to. So that's how we come up with it. But Maria has taken that and she's just done fantastic things with it. Like she's just makes it. You can tell when she's gone on holiday because it's my job to post stuff, and it just goes back like 3 years.
All just drifts away.
It's like a child's gun. Like, I'll stick to the welding, I'll stick to the bike fabrication, and she's absolutely. I'd be lost without her. She's fantastic at it. Really good.
It's we sort of touched on this earlier, didn't we? That I think in order for your business or your idea to grow, you've got to identify your strengths and your weaknesses, and then you have to farm out your weaknesses to the people with strengths there, don't you? And it's like you have to invest in bringing in help effectively and the expertise in these various different parts in order to take the things onto the next level. It's kind of, I'm sort of at that stage at the moment where I'm like, I need help with editing, but then there's things like you know, like just posting on the socials, it's a simple thing, isn't it? But it takes up so much time. And these days you really need some sort of strategy with it. You can't just hunt stuff out and hope that it's going to do well, which is what I do. And occasionally you might hit a jackpot and you get something that picks up some traction. But most of the time my stuff just ticks over. And I'm just at that stage where I'm looking at, you know, somebody that specializes in marketing. We can do a rebrand, and then they can put in an actual structured plan to take things forward.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I mean, you guys it's obviously worked for you guys, because it's impressive. It's really nice to see where you are now.
Thank you. Funnily enough, like, neither of us are marketers.
Wow, okay.
We spoke to Maria's a product designer, product engineer. So when she went to university, she learned how to develop a product, how a thing would feel in her hand, and how it would work in real life situations, and graphic design as well. So she's kind of brought those skills, and
you can see that,
but she's got this like a octopus brain, where she can kind of think about 10 million things at a time.
Oh,
I've just an octopus with one leg. So we've got, again, like what you said earlier, a good leader will surround himself with people that are good at things he's bad at. And I'm bad at a lot of stuff, but I'm good at risk. I'm really good at taking risks, and I've got a good vision. But when it comes to marketing and finance, from the workshop, that sort of stuff, I'm kind of only okay. So Maria helps the marketing. We're learning that together. Learning how to make plans and where to focus things. Because currently we're just kind of throwing stuff everywhere and seeing what happens. Probably much the same as yourself. And then Kev takes care of all the finance stuff. And Del in the background there, he helps us on the festivals that we've been doing. So have you seen the festivals that we've been doing?
Yeah. Can you tell people a bit about them then?
Yeah, of course. So it all started with the Adventure Bike Riders Festival. Probably a few of your viewers might have been there. ABR Festival, for short. We messaged them saying, look, we'll provide entertainment, saying we'll do some welding instruction, we'll do this and that, and, you know, teach people to be a bit more hands-on. I was thinking, adventure bikers will absolutely love this, because they're kind of used to going off into the wilds or somewhere and having to fix the bikes with twigs and cable ties. And when we got there on Thursday, we set up Thursday, we start working on Friday, teaching people. But everybody was coming to us saying, oh, I've got a broken this, I've got a broken lever, I've got breaking fucking everything. Either on the ride there or on the trails. Have you been to it before?
Yeah.
It's fucking hardcore. It's seriously hardcore. I wasn't expecting it on.
Yeah, there's a heavy going trail there. They've got different levels, haven't they? But yeah, some of it's, especially if it gets wet. Yeah, that's fun and games. That
I'm not an off-roader at all, but I can get on a motocross track and ride around. Kind of. Which time? When I do something for something. Kevin just reminded me of one of my first times out on a motocross bike. I was on his 125, and I was very slowly going through a corner, right-hand corner, and took the front, fell down, put my hand out. My body went down, but my shoulder stayed up there.
Oh, no.
My shoulders used to come out a lot then. And Kevin was kind of riding it behind me, but whatever way I hit the ground, it fell on. My shoulder went back in, thankfully enough. And I was lying there. I was like, oh my God. And of course, Kevin started taking the piss out of me. And I'm like, I was just laughing on the ground while I was in pain. And the marshals came over. You okay? And Kevin's like, he's just dislocated his shoulder. Why is he laughing? I had 4 ibuprofen and rode my Super Duke home.
Jeez, did you?
Yeah.
God. I've had loads of people say that to me, that they've dislocated their shoulder, they've popped it back in, they've been fine. I've done it once properly, and I'm not kidding you. Like, I've said this before, if someone had given me a gun, offered me a gun, I'd have just shot myself in the face there and then. I was in agony for like 4 hours, 5 hours before in fact, it was a lot more than that. I did it on the way home from nights. So I did it about 7 a.m, and it was about 3 p.m. before they put it back in. Bloody agony.
Yeah. I've done this one 3 times, that one twice, but it doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, but that's why it went back in, because the first 2 times it didn't. But they were loose enough that they kind of slipped back in. But yeah, I would rather take a break over a dislocation again. Like I'd rather like snap my fucking whatever that poor arm, snap my arm over a dislocation again. But yeah, but ABR Festival was absolutely fantastic. I remember I took my mate's enduro bike around one of the trails, and of course I crashed out, and my foot got trapped under the bike, and I kind of rolled. And when somebody cracks your back, every joint between my ankle and my neck. It was fantastic. Yeah. And what else happened? Yeah, so that was the first day of ABR. Loads of people start coming to us asking us to repair things. We're like, oh fuck, we're in deep shit here. This is the first day. It's 12 o'clock in the first day, and we don't have anything to fix anybody's bikes. So I was like, right, what do we do? So we packed up most of our kit, brought it back to machine shop, grabbed different kit, and brought it back to ABR to help people fix the bike. So we had like tube kits, broken throttle cables, spare oil, spare this and that, and all sorts of different stuff to try and repair bikes. And Dell was kind of the mastermind behind it. He's just so giddy. He's like 50 million years old. I don't know how old Dell is. But he's got so much energy. I wish I had his energy. And he's just plowing into everybody's bikes.
Cocaine, mate. It's cocaine.
Cocaine. And we fixed all the bikes. We done something. Maria has the stats now, and she told me to memorize these, and I didn't. But I think we done something like 60 tires on Saturday.
Jeez, you kidding?
Yeah, and there was no other support there for anybody to do tires. There was no tire support.
Yeah, I suppose not.
So we're going back again next year. Like, they were so happy with us and the stuff that we've done that we've been invited to go back next year and provide support again. And we're getting a guest feature slot as well. So they asked me to come up on stage and have a talk and show people how to do stuff on stage. So one thing I was kind of shocked at is the amount of people there that had not been on an adventure before, because they kind of bought adventure bikes and wanted to buy into lifestyle. Yeah. But hadn't gone away yet, hadn't really had the breakdown at the side of the road or this or that. And I'm really happy that we got to meet those people because we're able to teach them a bit about their bikes. Yeah. And hopefully they can take that information out to wherever they want to adventure to and get them rolling again. And that's what we're about here. We want to pass on information in a kind of a stress-free environment. It's not like a college. It's not like going to a school or paying like big money for a course or something. It's very casual there. You get a membership, you come in, you hang out with us, and we teach you bits and pieces about your bike, and you go away happy knowing something.
Yeah, I think like the ABR is a fantastic event, isn't it? And sadly, I can't make this year's one, but it is a cracking event, and it really feels like the adventure scene is having yet another revival, because it had a big revival sort of 2004 when Long Way Round came out. There was a big boom then. There was a big boom round about when I did my trips, so sort of 210 to 215-ish. That time it was all about adventure bikes, and then it sort of dwindled away and it became cafe racers and it was naked. You know what?
If you had done your trip on an adventure bike, I wouldn't have watched it.
No, yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah,
and I was telling the lads earlier about what you done because they all knew you, but they didn't know. They didn't know like where you come from. When did we first start chatting? Back in 2016. Yeah. Remember, I dropped you an email about something about I was trying to get a ferry somewhere. I was a bit stuck.
Yeah, that's right. It might have even been before that. Yeah,
I think it was 2016. I remember sending an email. Yeah.
I mean, I still get people. Who follow the channel who know nothing about like the Jigsaw, and I'm starting to do the rebuild actually of the Jigsaw's done now. I just need to get it insured and MOT'd, and then it's done. But yeah, people are like, "What's the Jigsaw all about?" And it's they don't know anything about that, and you're like, "Bloody hell, sit down, let me tell you all about it."
Yeah, it's amazing. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I'm a bit gutted because you imagine if you were to do a trip like that now especially on a sports bike, with the cameras that we have now, the technology that we've got, the audio, the drones, everything like that, the social media access that you have just right there and then on your phone. Everything's it's on a whole different level than it was, say, back in 2012 when I did it. Part of me is like, oh, I want to maybe not do it again, but it's like all the bits that I didn't do, Mongolia and the stands, Africa.
I don't think it'd be the same if you did it again, because your experience now, my favorite thing about what you done was you went totally fucking blind. You got your arse handed to you in Mauritania.
Yeah.
And you came back with your tail between your legs, and you said, right, we'll have a think about this, and you go again. And then remember, did you crash out in Australia on the right-hander?
No, I don't think I crashed in Australia. I crashed in Japan. I crashed in quite a lot of countries, actually. But a big one was in Japan. That's where I tucked the front and smashed the bike up and had to get it rebuilt. Yeah, that was in Japan, that one.
Perfectly paved road in the dry in Japan in the sun. And you took the front.
I had a bit of gravel.
Yeah. But I think if you've done that now, it wouldn't be as fun, because most of the fun was watching you, kind of the panic in your eyes and the fear and the terror.
You're a very warped individual.
Yeah. It's because you don't want to watch somebody that can go around the world. Like watching Lyndon Poskett's brilliant because he's so full of life and he's capable, and that's the kind of that's aspirational. Whereas you are, the normal guy. You kind of went out there and you went, fuck it, let's go. You made a ton of bad decisions. And that's what normal people are going to do.
Yeah.
That's what I've done that when my adventure bike ride. Remember we were talking about before, I've done like 26, 27 countries or something, but I ended up in a minefield in Bosnia. Remember that?
I can't remember that story. Remind us.
I had a Super Duke, or the 990 one. So it was the mad one with the extra power, no traction control, no ABS, none of that shit. And I was like, where will we go? And me and Kev, that was chatting on the camera there a few minutes ago, we said, fuck it, we'll try and ride to Greece. And so we left. We woke up at like 3 a.m. or something, and we jumped on the bikes and left, and we hit for Dover, got the ferry across and rode off down through. We went to Munich first, just kept riding, stayed awake all night long. Kev! Positive. I'm just telling the story. Some fella died in the petrol station. I was filling up my bike, and I was just looking at the clock. And the guy opposite me on the other side of the pump, he just kind of looked at me and just went, that way.
You're kidding me?
Yeah, he fucking died. And I just kind of stared at him. I'm like, looking to see if he's all right. And I'm like, trying to finish filling up my bike as well. I was like, all right, mate. Of course, it's in Germany. Nobody understood what I was saying. I went, tap, 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 put it back. And I went around, But by this stage, like, there's people running over to him. He had a heart attack. They called the ambulance, but fucker died there,
Jesus.
So that was the first of the mad things that happened on that track, that trip. Then where did we go from? Indy. Was it Munich? Over. I can't remember all the places we went to.
And did you make it to Greece?
No. we get Yeah, so we went Munich. That was the first kind of big stop.
We just went to Munich around and looked around to Munich, but went Munich. Went to a place called. Are you not swear?
Yeah,
of course.
Well, yeah. Well, we're not swearing because it's a place name.
You're not swearing because you're Irish. You're a fellow Celt. It's just part of our.
Our religion. It was place names that we went to. So we went to a place called Fucking first, which is between Germany and Austria on that border there.
It's got to be done. Yeah.
The KTM factory. And then from there through Austria and then the next night we stayed in Czech Republic, Czechia, in a place called Český Krumlov. The next night then we stayed in Bratislava.
That was a great night.
You want to talk about that?
No, we're coming out of I had a great time.
Bratislava is good, yeah.
In Bratislava, straight down. I mean, I'll summarise it because I have shit to do. Bratislava, straight down through Hungary, through stayed in Croatia, then into Bosnia. Got lost.
We got mugged on the border.
Where in Bosnia?
not mugged by the police. Oh, you need to pay this with the country. You need to pay this. How much? You need to pay €100 per bike to get in. It's like we have €50 total. They go, okay, fine, €50.
Yeah. That'll do. Yeah.
Down to Bosnia, and then Croatia, ferry to Italy, back to Munich. There's your new.
Awesome. What a trip!
We're in Bosnia somewhere. We're looking at the map, and we need to go from Banka Luka to Sarajevo, and we're thinking, right, we'll follow this route here. So we're on a sports bike, of course. I picked like the grippiest tires Dunlop made, like nearly slicks. And so we're on some tarmac. The tarmac turned to shit. Tarmac turned to fucking gravel. Turned to mud. And he's got his girlfriend at the time on the back of the bike, on the back of his V4 Tuono. I had my Super Duke, and we're just dragging these bikes up through the mud, like there's that depth of mud, wet mud. And every time we came across the mud, she'd get off. She'd walk up onto the verge, walk around the mud, and meet us on the other side. We'd be dragging these bikes through, and fucking we're falling over, and it was about 6 hours of hardship trying to get up this road. And we're looking at a big sign, and we're looking at the back of the sign. So I wonder what that says. We walked around the other side. It said, "Do not enter, minefield."
Skull and crossbones and all that.
Yeah, we'd just rode through a minefield.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the fuck do we do now? And we couldn't go any further because the road just got too bad. The bikes wouldn't move. So we had to try. We have a funny video of him doing like a 14-point turn because there's no lock in the bike. He's like trying to get around
in a minefield.
Yeah, in a minefield. So we'll just stick to our tracks. And this is Kevin. How fast do we need to be going to get across a mine for it to explode behind us? And he says, yeah, I can do the maths. So he's an engineer, so he gets out his phone, he's doing all the maths. He's right. So he Googled how fast a mine explodes and seeing how fast he was traveling across it. He says, yeah, we can do it, but we might need slightly faster bikes. I'm like, well, what speed do we need to be going? He goes, Mach 3. So we got out of that. Yeah, we got out of that, and it was a genuinely scary experience. I remember it was like 41 degrees of heat, and I was in leathers, but I had cold sweats, so I was just shaking. And we'd slept in a petrol station that night because we didn't make it to where we were meant to be going to. And we were chatting to a woman, and we were showing her the pictures, and in the pictures there's big red rocks in the verges. Big red rocks in the verges, and big red rocks mean that the verges haven't been cleared of mines yet. Of course, Kevin's girlfriend is jumping off the bike, standing up on the verge and walking across. Like, she was the most danger. Like, we didn't know the road was okay. We just thought we were in a fucking.
It was off the road. Wow.
Yeah, it was a dangerous bit. So, but yeah, that was scary. But at the end of that, we just said, "Fuck it, we'll go to Italy," and we got the ferry then from Split to Ancona, and then rode up through Italy. We went to see Pisa. And went to see
Slave ferry.
Oh, that fucking ferry. Jesus Christ. It was like a fucking... What was the ships that they sent from Ireland to America? The famine ships. It was like a famine ship. And I remember lying in my bed and like the floor or the ceiling was there, and it was fucking awful. And there were like 10 layers down, so there was no air down there. That's adventure riding.
You're never going to forget. You're never going to forget those trips, though, are you? They are burned in your memory. Those sort of trips. I miss it because a lot of my trips now. Obviously, I take punters away on tours, so it's all very. What's the word? Not clinical, like sterile. You know, like I've got all the hotels. They're all booked. I know where I'm going. We know the routes, and you know, it's because you've got punters coming with you, so you can't wing it. And I do miss the trips when I just used to, either with a group of mates or a couple of mates or myself, you just hit the road and just wing it. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that in March. Actually, I'm going across to the States. So I'm landing in Cincinnati. A pal of mine who's over there, Alid, who's been on the podcast, he's picking me up and taking me back to his family home, and he's giving me one of his bikes. And then I'm just hitting the road, and I'm just going to do all back roads from Kentucky all the way down to eventually Key West in Florida. But I'm stopping off at Daytona for like one of the Daytona bike weeks.
Yeah.
I'm doing like a Friday, Saturday at Daytona for that. And the only thing I've booked is, the 2 nights hotel at Daytona, purely because I think there's like 500,000 people going to be there. So it's like you need to get accommodation, booked up. But I can't wait just to wing it and just see where it takes me every day. I'm on a bit of a time constraint right enough because I think it's a good 5,000 mile sort of trip in the space of 9 days, 10 days. So there's going to be some big days, but I kind of like all that, and just, if you've got to ride through the night, ride through the night. If you've got to sleep at the side of the road, sleep at the side of the road, meet people along the way, whatever, see what happens.
You should be fine. You're white.
Yeah. Well, I remember the last time I was over that neck of the woods was on the world trip. And I remember being in, God, it was like Alabama or somewhere like that. I was Georgia, one of those sorts of places. And I remember being in a petrol station, filling up the bike. Bearing in mind, I'm in my leathers and I'm on the sport bike, on the Jigsaw. And I'm filling up my leathers and this really rusty flatbed truck pulled up. And a guy that, do you know Dukes of Hazzard? Do you remember Dukes of Hazzard? Uncle Jesse, he was the sort of granddad that used to wear the really grubby white dungarees, and he had a great big bushy beard like this. Yeah. Well, I just remember this, if you can imagine Uncle Jesse's hick brother, the one from way up in the mountains. This guy got out. It was a really rusty truck, and he was really bogging, covered in dirt and grease and everything. And I remember he was just stood and he just stared at me while he was leaning against his truck. And I sort of took my helmet off once I'd filled up. I looked over and I was like, "You all right?" And he just sort of looked at me and he went, "Are you Muslim, boy?" And I was like, "Sorry?" He says, "Are you Muslim?" Because I had not a beard as big as this, but it was growing. It was sticking out the lid. And I was like, "No, Scottish." And he just sort of went, like that, and just sort of got in the truck, and that was that. But I often thought to myself, I wonder what would have happened if I'd said yes. You know what I mean? It was proper hick, some of those places.
Yeah, all those boys down there are just like convinced that if you're Muslim, you're a terrorist.
I met a lot of locals along the way, and the nicest, warmest, most open and welcoming people, and that was like that everywhere, almost everywhere in the world that I went. People are good. At the end of the day, people are good. You get arseholes, but people are good. We are also sponsored by the Influencer Store. Now, Roger and Charlotte over at the Influencer Store, they've been doing my merch for TeapotOne.com for quite a few years now. I used to use the standard sort of print-on-demand type web-based ones. It was nice and easy to do that, but the quality of the products were 2 or 3 washes and they fell apart. They'd lose their shape. And I wasn't really happy for my brand to be associated with that sort of quality. So I was on the hunt for some better quality merch. I saw Richie Vida stuff and thought, that's really good. Nice quality, really nice print, like the designs. And he pointed me in the direction of Roger and Charlotte over at the Influencer Store. And they've been doing my merch ever since. I get the feedback from you guys when you spend your hard-earned money on the merch and you seem to be happy with it. If you're not, please do let me know and we can feed it back. But I've got some spiel to read out from them. The Influencer Store helps you build your brand big or small, providing you with a solution and apparel. We help you to increase your fan base while supporting you with starting your own influencer clothing line with nothing more than just an idea or design. And there are no hidden costs. For more info, come check us out at influencerstore.co.uk or drop us an email at online@influencerstore.co.uk for more information. And lastly, a massive shout out to all of you over in the clan, over at patreon.com/TeapotOne. Could not do this without all your support, folks. We've got a fantastic community going on over there. Everyone's so supportive of each other. We do the ride outs, we do the meetups, and obviously you guys get first choice for the questions on the podcast. Thank you so much for all your support. I hope you're all still enjoying it. Let's get back to the podcast. Right, dude, we've been going for an hour already. Shall we crack on with some questions here? Otherwise, we're going to run out.
Yeah, do you want to have a chat around Dell's bike and see the other bikes first?
Yeah, go on then. Yeah, let's do that.
5 minutes of Dell.
Well, we'll have to do it fairly quick, Bob, because if people are just listening to this, they're going to be like, "Oh yeah, great." But definitely, folk, you're going to want to watch the video for some of this. See some of these bikes.
This is Dell's bike, so it's CX500, and this is Dell. Dell, they're going to grab their camera down.
How you doing?
How you doing, Dell? You all right, pal? That bike's beautiful, mate. It's a CX500.
It's I think we started it probably a few months ago now. It was in part build, I suppose, leading up to the NEC show where Bob kind of sprung it on me and he said, Dell, he said, your bike's looking quite good and it's nearly there. He said, do you fancy putting it at the show? in a week's time.
Yeah, no
And I'm
pressure.
like, well, I was using the machine shop like most people use the machine shop, and it was kind of like, I'll come up here Monday, leave Tuesday, come up here Wednesday, maybe come up on a Friday and Saturday, in between having a family and having a work life, everything, like as the machine shop is. And that's what the machine shop's all about. Then all of a sudden, he puts it on me and says, Del, he said, like, we need to kind of like advertise the fact that we can do anything from a speedway bike to a motocross bike to a race bike to a custom bike to a classic bike. You know what the machine shop's about. You've known Bob for quite a bit of time now. So, you know, it doesn't matter what genre of motorcycling you're into, everybody's welcome and everybody can come up here and have a little play with their project or toy or long-term or short-term restoration. So I went, okay, yeah, that's not a problem. I said, but I need to do the tank, I need to do the seat, we need to do the stainless steel pie cut exhaust. I still need to finish the electrics and put an M unit on it. And I'm like, wow. So then all of a sudden I lived here. And the good thing about it is I can come home from work. I can come up here at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon and work until the early hours of the morning and finish off my bike, which gave me kind of like a little bit of an incentive to say, I want to take the bike that not only have I built, but my friends and colleagues, if you like, at the machine shop, because I didn't know everything about building bikes. I'm a really good spanner and I'm okay with electrics and I kind of know my way around a multimeter. And that was about me. But I'm an electrical mechanical engineer by trade. I'm an operations manager of a manufacturing company. But I'm not a bike builder by no means. And I've seen some of these guys on YouTube and I'm in awe of what they can do. But I've never been given the opportunity to do it because I didn't have the facilities at home. Mm-hmm. So I met Bob a few years ago, leading up to starting up the business, and I was one of his initial first members where he came around. He was doing the leafleting thing around local custom bike shows, and I came up here. Then COVID hit, and I've been through Bob's journey where it has been a struggle. Honestly, it really has. But I've been part of the journey now, and I'm a member of the machine shop. I'm not a paid member. I come up and I help Bob on all the places, and I think he touched on the ABR. Mally Mile was amazing. Yeah. So not only is this for me an opportunity to build bikes, and I've got 9 motorcycles at the moment. I've built 5 of them here at the machine shop. Really? I'm a really cool adventure boat bike guy, and I've had a Triumph Explorer 1200 that I was trying to take off road, sticking knobblies on it. That kind of is a bit of a challenge. Bob said to me, "You need to get yourself a Tenere," so I did that. I went into a Tenere, amazing bike. But I've got 1963 BSA Gold Flash. I've got a 1975 Triumph Trident. I've got 2 Honda CX 500s. I've got my Tenere. I've and this CX that I've just built. But I'm now looking at the next project because I've got this place. I've got this place to, you know, come and build it. And then when I need something welding, I've got Bob. You've got the guy who knows the electrics. You've got another member who's the best at powder coating. Cerakoting's quite new. And this bit here.
So when Del started at Machine Shop, he could do basic service and he'd be able to change his brake pads and stuff. But he bought this entire bike in a few boxes and it was all rusty shit. So we stripped the engine out, blasted all the parts, repainted all the engine. See this nice gunmetal grey? Yeah, yeah. So he's repainted all the engine. He modified the frame. He started getting prices for bolt-on parts and from other manufacturers. So he got a price for £420-something for the subframe.
Yeah, from America, yeah.
Yeah, so what he done is he went next door to the Scrappies, he got a piece of metal and he cut the shape out that they had and he made it for free with using my kit. So he's made this subframe. He done that same with something else here. Oh, the stem on the so this is a Fireblade front end. The stem from Motor Gadget is 300 and something quid. Something like that, yeah. We just modified the standard one and done it for free.
It's a beautiful looking machine. It really is.
It is, yeah. I taught him how to weld as well, so he's made all this exhaust so far.
You've welded that?
So yeah. So Del has been making.
That's gorgeous.
He done a welding class with me, and he's done all that. So he also done a wheel building class with me. So I'll show you the wheels. The wheels.
Folks, you need to watch this. If you're listening, you need to watch the video. Have a look at this.
So the bike as standard comes with these big plates. They're like a big star-shaped thing, a horrible looking thing. So what we done is we took all that shit off, pressed out all the rivets, and then we got some motocross rims, and made some spokes and put it all together and screwed it up, and we put the knobblies on it, and now it looks beautiful.
You've made the wheels.
We custom built this is a 1979 Honda CX 500 with a 2016 CBR 1000RR front end. So but the monoshock conversion here, it obviously had the twin shocks. This is a Ducati Monster rear shock.
Oh, wow.
And we've engineered it to try and work with my height, my weight, and completely custom. Yeah, so I'm a little bit smaller. Yeah, I'm normal height, obviously, as a human being. But one of the other things we've done as well, which was probably the biggest challenge, it's obviously got the CBR 1000 front end, which has twin disc, and it has the rear end, which is a drum because it's 1975. So these flanges here, we machined these flanges on the milling machine, which was amazing. So it took a lot of work. I'm not going to lie. It did take probably a full 4 or 5 hours to try and draw and design it with the help of the team around us. But what we managed to do then is once we had the correct spacing, because the Cronstar wheels, which are on the 1975, they're like a mag wheel and they're very prehistoric, if you would like. So we took that off, and then we was left with these 4 bolts. So these 4 bolts needed to be designed to work with the correct amount of spokes for the rim. And then at the back there, you can probably see we have a spoking area where we can learn to true up and spoke wheels. And again, the first wheel, the rear wheel, took me about 4 hours. I've never done it before. And with Bob's help and abuse, I managed to do it after 4 hours.
Encouragement.
Correct. But the front wheel took me about an hour and a half because I'd obviously beat myself up as well as Bob beat me up to try and make sure that I knew how to do this correctly, which was great. So we managed to get there in the end. One thing I'd just like to go back on the exhaust system. If you look at this exhaust system, this is probably about, I don't know, 40, 50% done. If I can take you around the other side, we've kind of got an idea where we're going to design this to go this way up here at the back, and then we've got 2 stainless steel, pretty much the Ducati style with a twin coming out the back. And again, we're not there yet, and that could change because everybody has their own input here, and we can discuss what's best, what looks good, what doesn't. So we're getting there. We are getting there, which is great. But going back to this exhaust, right? I really there's a company out there, and I'm going to give them a little shout out now, called Thornton 100, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
You know them, yeah, they're great. Yeah. And I looked at their work, and I've looked at what exhaust they've done, and they've done an exhaust where it kind of twisted into 3, and it looked amazing, and it really, really did look good. And I was like, wow, Bob, I need something like that. How can we do something like that? And Bob and Kev and the team here, they said, well, hang on a second, why don't you continue what they've done, which is great. I'll teach you how to do it, and we'll continue it all the way to the back, but we will incorporate the Ducati style at the back. I'm like, listen, it's already a calf racer, stroke bobber, stroke brat, stroke scrambler with a knobbly tyres. What else can we do? So I'm going to shout out the price. Now, Thornton 100 really do an amazing job, and I really want to give them the plaudits what they deserve because they do it great. But I think it was around £2,600 just to do an area that come down here, and it's trick. It's lovely, and I really like what they've done. But I didn't want to copy what they've done. I wanted to try and take what they've done and do my own thing. So we worked it out. Come all the way here. It's probably 3 times the size of what Thornton do. So you're talking £10,000 worth of exhaust if you was to subcontract it out or pay someone to do it. Yeah. 1, Bob taught me how to weld it, but 2, I've got the facilities as part of my membership to come and do all of this here and put my own stamp on it. And guess what? If I get it wrong, or I'm not quite sure about how this is going, I can always chop it off and change it and do it. But trust me, at the end, this is going to be a completely one-off, built by Dell at the machine shop, and I've learned a skill.
Can I ask, Dell, what is there one particular aspect of that bike so far? Because obviously you've not finished the complete build yet. Is there one aspect of the bike that you're like you're most proud of? It's given you the most reward. Would it be the exhaust or anything in particular?
I think it probably, to be honest, I think it probably is the exhaust. However, the engine itself, I've documented all of the engine build. And when I stripped the engine down and took it apart, completely nut and bolt restoration from the engine, and I opened it up, the water seal had gone. And it was so rusted and corroded on the inside, I had to rebuild the engine from scratch. And that's something I'd never, ever done. I've done, listen, I'm 48 years old, okay? So when my dad was when I was growing up, and my dad was showing me how to take heads off of Mark II Cortinas, and I was changing brakes and doing all that kind of stuff. I kind of had a skill set. I did have a skill set where I could talk the head down how I needed to do, but then bikes, because it was my passion. I'd never done bikes. I'd never done bikes before. So when it comes to stripping an engine down to the crank, main bearings, timing and all that, it was kind of alien to me. But coming, like I said, I learned like bits and pieces. I got my head in a book, and you can turn around and there's 3 or 4 people in there where you can drag them in and say, I'm not too sure about this. So you can sense check your rationale between, am I going to put this together and I'm going to have to backtrack 4 hours or not?
Yeah.
But you can stop and take time and say, is this right? Is this wrong? And, you'll get calibrated in the right method, whether it be abuse or whether it be guidance, as you say, and you'll get there. You will get there in the end. But no, I think the whole thing's it has been great. The bit I'm enjoying most is the stainless steel pike exhaust, because I think that's the icing on the cake, really, for me.
The whole bike, it's almost, I mean, the bike's gorgeous. All the different elements are beautiful. But when you look at that bike, you see engine and then you see that gorgeous exhaust, don't you? It's like a real focal point of the bike. It's beautiful. Yeah. Even from here, bearing in mind, I'm looking at this on a webcam. You can still look at it and go, Jesus, that's a work of art.
Well, if you've got your arse up here, you can come see it.
Well, we keep saying this, don't we? But I will come and see you, because I need some work doing anyway. So I will definitely chat to you about this, and we'll get something done.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cheers, man. Look after yourself. Nice to meet you, Dale. Ta-ra.
This is Kev. He's a little bit quieter than Dell. So there's a few bits on this bike that he doesn't want letting get out, so I'll hand the camera to him and he can chat.
Okay.
You can't. No, not that. I'm very much. I don't like to talk about what I'm doing so much as just show people what I've done. Basically, it's an MT-07 that I'm turning into a race bike. Very simply. A bit on my background, I guess. I work at a desk. I can do CAD. I'm quite good at CAD.
Right.
And that's what I do professionally. But before the machine shop, I hadn't done any fabrication, actually. I didn't know how to weld, didn't know how to use a mill. I have an engineering degree. I didn't know how to use a mill or a lathe. Any of that I couldn't do. I could do spanners. I could rebuild an engine. I'd raced for years. So, but since coming here, I know my first few projects were tarting up my motocross bikes, fixing them, doing the engines, welding the subframes when I crashed them. And that moved on to, I think the following year, I did a full conversion of a Sprinter. So I bought a ex-DPD Sprinter camper van, or van, should I say, and turned it into a camper van. And I had everything I needed to do that here, including it's got a bed that goes up and down on.
Oh yeah, bet it does.
Linear actuators. But everything else, like I made a shower tray out of aluminium here, and folded all the aluminium, welded up the seams, and powder coated it, and then I had a custom shower tray. That was the last big project I had, and then this project, which is the one I've been probably about 2 months at, no, not even a month at it now. But this is probably, I would say, a lifelong goal of mine. Everybody, I think anybody who's been into bikes probably watched American Chopper when they were young.
Yeah.
And wanted to build a custom bike of some sort. I'm not into choppers, but I'm into race bikes. So I wanted to build a race bike. I've always wanted to build a race bike, including me, a Muppet. I've done a custom frame. I've reused the headstock because headstocks are a pain in the ass to do. But full custom frame, custom.
Well, you fabricated the whole frame yourself? Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, existing MT-07 headstock, but yeah, new frame, because the MT-07 frame isn't very aesthetically pleasing. It's quite wide. It's the tube here just comes up and around. It's ugly looking.
It's a bit too stiff for racing.
Right.
Because I mean the mounts go from here up to here, and so I've moved them so there's a bit more separation. I've moved the shock mount to there. I'm going direct acting shock. There's a few things.
Wow.
Moved the whole speed.
Where are you going to race this then?
So this is going to be a flat track bike. So that's why it's only got 2.5 litre fuel tank. That's all I need. Tiny little fuel tank, direct action shock. I've worked out all the geometry and stuff that I need.
Wow.
But yeah, so full custom. Well, I say full custom frame, half a custom frame, but like the spars, full custom subframe, custom fuel tank. Redid all the electrics here to pull everything up here, and I think the batteries are on that side, so all the electrics are up front. And at the moment, I am making a swing arm. So that's what I would have been doing.
So
trying to keep quiet.
When do you think you're going to have this like on the track, so to speak, ready to go?
I'd like it done by the first weekend in April.
Okay, right.
But,
and how often are you at the machine shop then?
Every night.
Yeah, you live there as well.
I live 10 minutes away. I come down and I come down for 2-3 hours every night and just tip away at things, just pick a job off my board on the wall.
Gotcha.
There's 2 bike benches here. I'm on the long-term projects bike bench, which is nice. I just get to leave my bike here the whole time, and I'm down here every day working on it. Just take a job off every day, basically, and slowly get through a project.
Right, I'm going to put you on the spot. What does the machine shop mean to you? Abuse.
I'm all about bikes and racing all the time. My job is in bikes, and I come home so I can work on bikes so that I can then race bikes at the weekend. And the machine shop means that I can work on my bikes, do more racing because I save money and not paying somebody to do fixing bikes for me. And this honestly is a lifelong goal of mine, to build a custom bike, like pretty much the whole thing is, it's going to have everything. The only thing that's carry over from the existing MT-07 was the headstock and the engine.
Yeah.
So this is like a lifelong goal of mine, and I never would have achieved it without the machine shop, because where do you go to learn how to weld or to use a mill? Or you can't say to somebody, can I use your lathe? You'll get wrapped up in it.
Straight away, that's what would stop me if I was in the mindset of to do something like that. It would just be how do you do this? Like, do you have to pay for a course and go to college, or like, what do you do?
No, and I went to work in that industry. I work in motorbike design, but like I said, on a computer. But I never in a million years, or never in all the years of doing that, and up for the last 20 years, ever since I wanted to build a bike, thought I could, until I came here, slowly built my skills up, and then realized it's like, fuck it, I can do all of that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
And to be honest, it's actually been a lot. The frame, which was the biggest, scariest thing to do, it took me 2 days, not even 2 days, two evenings, because it's actually not as difficult as you think. If somebody you get stuck, and that's where it becomes difficult. But you get stuck and you ask him, what do I do? And he just goes, you just do this. And you go, oh yeah. And you just keep going, and you just slowly grind away at it with an angle grinder, or you slowly just do it bend by bend on the benders until you get it right, and just weld it in. And that's it. It's actually not as difficult as you'd ever think it would be.
Yeah, I think a lot of limitations, or our perceived limitations, are exactly that, aren't they? They're limitations that we impose on ourselves because it's the unknown, and you're almost scared to take that step into the unknown, aren't you? And it's just pushing yourself forward, whatever that unknown is in life. You just got to take it, tackle it, go head on, and just go for it, don't you? Like, start that process of whatever it is and deal with what comes your way.
Yeah, 100%. And if you think to yourself, I want to build a custom bike and I have zero idea where to start, just go to the machine shop and say, tell Bob, and he'll say, well, get this bike, get this material, and we'll go from there. Bring it down on a Friday or Saturday, and we'll start you off from there. And Bob will point you at a thing. You'll go away for 2 hours, do that, come back to him, or anybody around you. We can all say, this is your next step, because the time is what actually is difficult. Knowing what to do is just asking somebody here, and then you'll know for the next time. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, wish you the best of luck with the build.
Thank you. I'll hand you back to the lad that can talk.
Cheers, man. Nice to chat to you.
And
how much have you paid everybody to say all this? All these glowing reports?
They're just here. They're literally just here tonight. So, for example,
you won't let them go home, will you?
This is Faith. So this is her R3. This is Yamaha R3, and she's here tonight to not build a custom frame or a custom tank or anything. She's just greasing her chain.
Okay, yeah.
And did you crack? She dropped it. Did you crack some fairings? She slipped on the ice because she rides all year round.
Good on you. Good on you.
And so she slipped on the ice and smashed some fairings. And instead of buying new fairings, we're gonna teach her how to fix them. So that's not tonight. We're just having a look at it tonight. But yeah, so people just come down and hang out, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're tightening your chain or literally building a bike from scratch. You can do whatever you want here. So, do you want to do the Q&A? Because I know you're probably talking too much
cheers,
shit now.
Tarano. Let's crack on with that then. How long have you got, Bob?
I've got all night. I know Kevin wants to speak.
Righto. Okay then. Right, folks, we will start with the clan questions over on Patreon as we always do. Patreon.com/TeapotOne. First one, Louise Worsfold. Hiya. How you doing, Louise? Which one of the crew is most likely to get arrested, and what crime are they most likely to have committed? Are you bailing them out or leaving them there?
It's definitely me. Definitely me. I'm constantly. Yeah.
I thought you'd matured.
Yeah, I've just been voted as me. I'm most likely to be arrested. How many times did I nearly get arrested last year?
Last year.
Yeah, I'm not a criminal, but I do shit that gets me in trouble. Victimless crimes, we'll say. There was I do. There was the bike night. The bike night got out of hand.
Let's not have a confession list here.
Well, no, these are all done in Mexico. There was a bike night where we got way out of hand. Like we'd set some shit on fire. We were jumping bikes through it. And we got reported, and the police came up. Mm-hmm. And I kind of backed off. I just like fucking said nothing. I was like waiting to see what's going to happen. And one of the other lads that was here, he started getting a bit fucking shirty with the policeman. I was like, that's never going to work. You're just going to get us some more trouble.
It's only going to end one way.
I'm organising this time. I'm sorry, what's happening? I got a bit of a slap in the wrist and told us to calm down. I was like, yeah, fine, no problem. So that was the first time I was in trouble. Later on that week, I think it was, remember in Nuneaton, the big angel that's made out of knives.
Oh yeah,
that thing. That was in the local town that we all went drinking on, and I was fascinated by it. I'd never seen it up close. So I was in my work kit and I just jumped over the barriers, like pissed drunk 1 a.m. or something. And I was up and I was just touching it and playing with it and like seeing how it was put together because I was absolutely fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And the next day I got fucking tapped on the shoulder, 2 bobbies, and they were like, what the fuck are you doing? They thought I was trying to break a knife off it or something.
Yeah.
I was just fiddling with it. And then the other time was Maria turned up at about 11 p.m. And I was just not in the mood, and she knew I was a bit fucking miserable that day. And she was like, let's go drinking. She had a bottle of rum or something. And I was like, no. She was like, come on, let's go dance. I was like, fine. So we went out, and I was in my work kit. We ended up in this nightclub. We went into the nightclub, and the security guy cuts out the dildo, which beep, 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 checking for knives.
The security dildo, yeah.
Yeah, the security dildo. And anyway, beep, 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 beep. He found something in my pocket, and I was like, shit, that's my work knife. Yeah.
Oh, no.
What's that? I says, oh, it's my keys. He goes, oh, okay, and just let me in. Yeah.
Well, you didn't look. You didn't check.
No, didn't fucking
check. That's reassuring, isn't it?
I know. So that's what I was thinking. That's why I got in trouble. So anyway, I went in. I was about 3 hours in there dancing, and I love dancing. Had a great night, chatting to everybody. We decided to feck off. So on the way out, I just kind of put my hand over the young lad, and I says, look, I'm not trying to tell you your job.
Oh, no, you didn't.
I said to him, look, I had my work knife in my pocket and you didn't check. Yeah. I'm not going out to you. I'm not going to tell your boss or anything. Just, he says, yeah, no problem, mate. No problem at all. I understand. You just let me know. I said, yeah, just well done, mate. Well done. I'll see you later. So shook his hand, walked away from him. I'm about 4 steps away from him. He goes, knife.
No, seriously.
I got fucking tackled. Yeah. Picked up, brought outside, and of course there's a fucking paddy wagon outside.
Yeah.
And the knife was handed over, and I got chewed out for having a fucking knife in the nightclub. Yeah, and it wasn't. It was just like a fucking normal like Swiss Army knife that locked open. But the issue was a locking knife or whatever bullshit. I'm not interested in stabbing people. But yeah, so that was my 3 times. I was probably nearly arrested a few more times than that. But that was.
I like the way there was no deliberation there amongst you. Everybody just went, Bob. Bob pissed. Bob.
Yeah, it's constant. Yeah.
Louise also asks, who's the worst at making the tea?
Who's the worst at making tea? You never make tea.
I'm a great tea maker though. We definitely make tea the whole time.
Who's bad at making tea? I can't think right now. It's usually only a few of us that make the tea because I'm behind the desk all the time. So who's the I'm gonna fucking say Dell. Fuck it. I blame him.
Poor old Dale. Right, nice one. Cheers for that, Louise. Next one, Michael Heaton. What a great idea. Do you get many people like, oh, hang on. Do you get many people like Bruce who doesn't know which end of a screwdriver to hold? And also, have you had to tell anyone to never come back? And if so, for what?
Oh, people that have. So the first question is yes, the majority of our customers don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we're here for. That's why I started this business. So just like Kevin, he's worked in industry his entire career, in motorcycle industry his entire career. But before coming here, he'd not really ever put his hands in spanners. Same with Dell. He's an electromechanical engineer, but works in computers now. The skill set isn't in the country anymore, so we're trying to replenish it. We love teaching newbies. The second question was, what was the second question?
Have you had anyone? Have you ever had anyone to tell anyone never to come back? And if so, for what?
Yes. I had two members and they turned up stoned, which I have a personal problem with. I don't care what you do in your own time. I really don't care. But don't bring it to my business.
Yeah.
And especially a smelly one. Yeah. If you're doing something else and you can kind of get away with it and kind of hide it and it doesn't reek, fine. But like if anybody's into smoking, fine, fair play to you. I'm not into it myself. Well, just fuck off up the road and go do it.
There's no hiding it, is there? There is no hiding that.
And the last thing I need is like I'm surrounded in goody goodies. So there's like a Christian food bank across the road. So I don't really get away with that. If somebody's smoking a joint outside, everybody knows, my whole estate knows, and then I've just got a bad reputation because I look like a stoner. I've got long hair and a beard, and I play motorbikes. You must do drugs. That's what I think.
Absolutely. And as you alluded to earlier, the last thing you want is health and safety to be to have an excuse to start sniffing round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, our health and safety is actually on point. Like you've seen all the controls and systems.
Yeah, God, yeah. Wow.
We do put a lot of effort into it, but it's very much we want to keep it relaxed, so it's not broken the entire business. Yeah.
What sort of level are you? What sort of level are you at now then with the shop? You know, like in terms of numbers and capacity. Like, are you running sort of full books now, or can you still welcome more people in? Someone just nothing. I'm not going to say anything.
Yes, that did just happen. Are we running full books? No, we're not running full books. We're very, very close to it though.
You might want to watch the video, folks.
We're very close to full books. We're constantly finding ways to like extend our working hours, that sort of stuff, so we can fit more people in all the time.
Yeah.
It's a super popular thing. However, we are kind of trapped with the size of the place. It's actually quite a small place. It's only about 1,000 square foot, but we've packed a load of stuff in. There's loads of tools, and it's all very well organized. So we do want more people all the time. And we thrive on that, because if you look at some of our I wouldn't say competitors, our copycats, their prices are nearly 3 times the amount.
Jesus.
Wow. Yeah. So machine shop is extremely cheap, but who'd you reference that to? Who'd you compare the price to? There's nobody out there. I tell you that a membership here is 50 quid a month. And you kind of go, and then the weekend they'll go down, they'll buy a round for £50 and not think about that.
Yeah.
So they don't have anything to compare it to. If you say it's 50 quid for a tire, you go, oh, that's dirt cheap. Yeah, because they know it's cheap compared to what they pay otherwise, 100 quid for a tire. If I say 50 quid for a month at this place, they'll go, oh, it sounds like a lot of money. But they can't go to my competitor and say, oh, Bob's cheap compared to them, because there is no them yet. They're coming, they're on it, but we'll get there. But it'll come.
If you took it like your standard mechanic hourly rate at, say, a dealership, like, let's not even go down the BMW route, which is like, Jesus, what are they charging? 70, 80 quid an hour or something? It's crazy, isn't it? Like a standard mechanic is charging you what, 40, 50 quid an hour? If you just go like a normal mechanic shop.
How much is the service on your bike, Bruce?
Just oil and filters for the tractor, that is anywhere between about 180 and about 240, and that's what is that, 40 minutes work, if that.
So we can teach you how to do it yourself. We can do your oil, your filters, your air filters, and your spark plugs for about £120.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fucking insanely cheaper, and I'm suffering because of it. So I need more customers. Come on.
So how do people? I was going to do this at the end, but seeing as we've brought this up, let's do it now. How do people get involved? How do people like?
Well, just get on the website. It's a very, very simple website. You go on the website and it asks you a question. Says, what do you want to do? Whether you want to learn to weld, you want to learn to service your bike, you want to learn to machine, whatever it is you want to do. It's a very, very simple website. That website is built by a fucking idiot. So it's not complicated. It's real short, real succinct. Is that the word?
That's the word.
Yeah. Okay, that's the word. Yeah. It's a very to the point website. It's very blunt, just like me. You go in, it tells you what you want to do, and you just choose that thing. Yeah. Very, very easy.
What is the web address?
So it's the-machine-shop.co.uk.
Okay. The links will be down below, folks, so make sure you check them out. Awesome. Right, we got that bit done. We'll do that again at the end, though. No problems. Where were we? So that was Michael Heaton. Thanks for that, Michael. Next one, Ravenshead Rider. Great to hear the podcasts are back, Bruce. Thank you very much. I really enjoy them. To you both, what really frustrates you in life, and how would you go about changing it? Ooh.
What frustrates me?
Yeah, in life. And
People
what would you do to change it?
Me. I'm the most chill and calm guy. I never lose my temper. I never get angry. I'm just always chill. I don't get excited. There you go. So there's never any drama with me. It's always chill. Always relaxed. When people start interrupting me, I can't pretend to like them anymore. It irritates the shit out of me. I can't do it. When I'm doing welding lessons and somebody, halfway through explaining something, and somebody kind of thinks they know what I'm trying to get to, and then it just completely throws me off, and it fucking makes me want to hate them. So that pisses me off. But that's just impersonal kind of day-to-day stuff. But what pisses me off in life? That's it. That and lazy people. I hate clever people that are lazy. Clever people that are lazy.
So, like people, I don't want to interrupt now. So, like people who plainly have the ability and means to do something, but just choose not to do it. Yeah. Is that what you mean? They're not fulfilling their potential or perceived potential.
I'd much prefer to work with a stupid bastard that tries.
I told you I'm coming to see you. I'm going to come see you. Yeah, I find myself like not so much ignorance. I used to think it was ignorance that annoyed me, but it's not ignorance. It's people who, if someone has an opinion or something, but they've never actually looked into it or tried it, but they've got an opinion on it and they make out that the opinion is that is it, and it's worth something.
People with electric bikes.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of it, isn't it? That's something that I deal with quite a lot. Is if I ever do a video on electric, you always get everyone's got an opinion, but it's like, why should I attach any weight to that opinion if you've never actually ridden a bloody thing? So if you've never tried it, and that all through life annoys me personally. It's just like if you've got an opinion about a certain person or a certain type of person from a certain country, then go over there and meet them. You know what I mean? Like, go over and meet them and experience what life is like there before you have your opinion on what you think. Because a lot of the time it's like, for me, I go to Morocco quite a bit, and I find Morocco like a really humbling country because the people are so nice. But when you meet the real people outside of the cities, they've got fuck all. They literally have nothing, but they'll open their life up to you. If that's just just to simply sit and they'll share whatever water they've got in the middle of the bloody desert. It's just simple things like that. And you come back home into the UK and we have everything just there, isn't it? It's readily available to us. And yet we still moan and we complain about people that want to come in over here and people that are doing this that they see on the TV and the news tells them that. And you're like, it's bollocks. Just experience it for yourself. Get over there and do it for yourself. Anyway, woosah. So how would you go about changing it then?
How do I go about changing people that interrupt me?
Yeah.
So when they interrupt me, I stay silent. Yeah. I just stop until they stop talking. And I look at them and then I continue on saying what I was saying, or I start the sentence again and I stare at them. I just look at them. And if they don't get that, I'll say, I will cut them off. I'll say, let me finish. And then that's the end of it. I'm not rude about it or anything. It's just more of a, look, you're paying for my time to teach you how to do this thing. And you keep talking over me. I can't convey this knowledge to you. Yeah. You're wasting my time and pissing me off. I can do that in a look.
I've got to say, Bob, you're much more reserved in this session than you were previously. I think I've only heard you say the C word once so far.
Yeah, I'm getting old, Bruce. I'm getting old. I'm 34 now.
Are you mellowing?
I am. Yeah, I'd say I'm mellowing. Would you say I'm mellowing? Sober. I'm definitely sober. Yeah, I've always been pretty mellow. I'm definitely. I
was interrupting. Sorry, Bob. You're not drinking. What's the story behind that? If you want to talk about it, you don't need to.
No, it's okay. It's not a problem. I'm hating it. I love drinking. I went to a place before where I learned how to not drink, and I was like, right, I know how to do it. Let's never do that again. But it's more of a fitness thing at the moment. Like drinking alcohol is really, really bad for losing weight and bad for just everything, really. I put on a lot of weight over the last few years. I was like 16 stone, which is 103 kilos in June.
Child.
I know. And I'm currently 14 stone, which is just about 89 kilos. So I've lost two and a bit stone.
Wow, well done.
12 kilos.
Well done.
It's not that I haven't stopped drinking. I just drink less now. And I used to come in here and just like fucking crack into a bottle of JD on a Wednesday night. And everybody knows I can put away a bottle of Jack Daniels in a night and still function the next day. And I'll still be here and I'm still fine. I'm a very, very functional and friendly alcoholic. I love drinking. It's great fun. But it's more of I just cut down because it's very hard to lose weight when you're drinking. And that's pretty much it.
And this is for your racing?
Yeah, for racing, general health, Tinder.
So Bob is available now, folks.
Somebody asked that on one of the questions. See that?
I think it's on Insta. Yeah, we'll get to them in a sec, actually. We got 3 more on Patreon, and then we can tackle all the Instagram ones. Are you all right for time?
Yeah.
Right, spot on. Right, cheers for that question, Dave. Next one, Charlie Callard. How you doing, Charlie? Evening all. Hope you're all fitting well. So you're riding across the desert and you stop for a splosh stop and find a golden lamp poking through the sand. Your childishness comes through and you rub the lamp and poof, a genie pops up and you get 3 wishes. The only rules are there's no extra wishes, there's no sharing wishes, and you can't ask for money. What you asking for? Wow.
Ooh. I want a 600cc cross-plane Yamaha.
Wow.
The Yamaha Big Bang 01.
Yeah.
They never made that in a 600.
No.
Imagine how cool that'd be. And it rev up to like 16 or 17 and a half grand.
Do you think the 600s are going to come back? Because they're starting to make a bit of a resurgence.
Yeah, I reckon so. I don't know for how long. It might be just kind of like getting rid of parts or something. I don't understand why they've come back. I love it. Fucking love it. But yeah, I don't know if they'll come back for long, especially because we're staring down the barrel of electric stuff. But yeah, that's my wish number 1. Wish number 2, I'm not allowed to ask for money.
Nope.
I'd ask for I'd like to be able to not sleep and not have any consequences.
What for not sleeping?
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
Jeez, I love sleeping.
Oh, fuck sleeping. It's really boring.
Oh, I love it. I love sleeping. Do you not sleep then? Do you struggle to sleep?
No, I don't struggle at all. I just find it really boring. Like going to bed to me is like, fuck's sake, I have to do this fucking thing now. I have to lie down, and I'll go lie down and then go. Like, just being idle for a few minutes right pisses me off. Um, that would be an option. These are just options. I haven't actually defined one yet.
Okay.
Well,
Sorry, we'll not hold you to it yet.
yeah. And probably just something. I wouldn't say full success with my business because that's cheating. I'm not in it because I want to. You know me. I'm not a money-driven person. I'm not doing this because it's making me fucking rich. I'd like that to be like where it's going to bring me. I've done the poor thing. I want to try the other end of the scale.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a learning thing, and I want to enjoy the experience. But I'd love a bit of help with like marketing and sales, that sort. That's what I kind of struggle with, because we have a very blunt way of speaking, and I'm not a salesman. I can't lie. So if somebody comes in, is this place for me? I'm like, nah, you're a bit of a wet wipe. So if I had a bit more sales skills, that would be nice. So all pretty humble wishes.
But then it's probably advantageous to be like that, so that you do actually attract the type of punter, the type of member for the business who is going to be conducive to it working effectively in the way you want it to work. Because if you get somebody that's very delicate and, takes offense to blah, 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 then the whole environment would change, wouldn't it, when they were there?
That's what you're saying there is quite apparent with like the people that you see here tonight and the people that you see on my Instagram stories and that sort of stuff. Everybody that comes here is all kind of the same mindset and the same kind of get up and go about them. They're a bit more enthusiastic and a bit more like, who would tear into building a bike like what Kev has just brought you through? Yeah. He brought that in. He's like, I want to do this. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, come on, let's go. Everybody's got big dreams and big aspirations. Yeah. And that's very much what we're kind of, the culture we're kind of nurture here. Yeah. So it's a really good culture here.
That must feed on to other people, though. That, other people that turn up and it's like, say, the first 1 or 2, 3 sessions there at the shop, and they're finding out how to, tighten a chain, lube a chain, but they look across the floor and they see somebody building a bike from scratch, custom building a subframe or a whole frame or teaching themselves how to weld. They must. For me, that would just be like, oh fuck, you're the same as me. You're just teaching yourself how to do this, so it's attainable, it's achievable. I can do this. What can I do? What? How can I push myself? Where's the project I want to do?
That's exactly what we're trying to teach people to do, even if it's just change your own brake pads. That's what we say. Change your brake pads, change your tires, change your chain. All of a sudden, you know how to use spanners, and then dropping an engine out or something isn't hard. I know it's a big jump there. It sounds like a big jump, but it's just nuts and bolts. It's fucking nuts and bolts. It's a big mechanical set. It's Lego. Yeah. It's easy. Yeah.
That's your marketing. There you go. It's done. Right. What else was Charlie asking? Oh crap! I need to answer this. What would I ask for?
Hair like mine.
Money. Do you know what? I don't miss hair. I genuinely don't miss hair. I don't
miss mine. Well, sorry, I don't. If it went, I don't think I'd miss it. It was fucking awful volume.
Maybe I would like, I don't know, maybe like a 9-inch cock rather than this 14-inch thing that I've got here. No, that's horrible. What would I like? Bloody hell. I mean, this sounds really wanky, but I'm sort of living my dream at the moment, obviously everyone would like more money, wouldn't you? You wouldn't, the money aspect, not having to worry about paying bills and the future and the financial future. That's always something that's pressing on my mind. But outside of that, I'm living the sort of dream that I've set in my mind's eye and work towards. I'm sort of living that, I take people away on bike tours for a living and make videos about what I do. So
that's what happiness is. It's a bit of light at the end of the hardship.
Yeah, but so go on.
Oh, so I was going to say that's why I wouldn't want to wish success in my business, because then it's no fun. It's like is done. I've missed the journey, and that's what we're here for. Like, might as well just fucking die if it has everything done for you. Because whatever. Go on. What are you gonna say?
I do. I think I fall foul of that at times where I think I sometimes don't sit back and sort of appreciate where I am and what I'm doing, because I'm constantly thinking, no, I want the next level of subscribers. I want that 100K, or, oh, it'd be awesome to get 1 million views on this video, or, for me, I'm the type of person that I always want to better everything that I do. It can always be better. It can always be bigger. And that's, I think sometimes you sort of have to have a bit of contentment with where you are, and a bit of an appreciation for where you are, and it's like, this ain't bad. This is not bad what you've got. So enjoy it. And okay, you can build. Is what, sorry?
I think what you do is amazing, because I've seen you start from a fellow with no beard, absolutely terrified. Going back to watch those videos now is really funny, and you just exude naivety, and it's fucking brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant, because we're all like that. We're all like that at the start of any journey, and yours was bigger than most. Am I right? You had a license, but you hadn't passed very long. And then one of your big trips were you just got
past 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
I passed 2008, June or July 2008, and then I set off in October 2012.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And then
I'm gonna have to go back and watch those vids, because I haven't watched them since I did them. Since I edited them. I've seen the odd little snippet of the odd little bit, but I've never sat and watched the series. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, man. Cheers. Appreciate it. Right. Cheers for that one, Charlie. Biker España. How you doing, Chris? You all right? Hi, everyone. Question 1. What's the hardest skill to teach a newbie? Question 2. What is the most important tool to buy for bike servicing? And question 3. Favourite biscuit to go with a brew? Hardest skill to teach?
So we do lots of stuff here. The one that's got the big reputation is aluminium and TIG welding. Aluminium TIG welding has a really bad reputation. It's actually the fucking easiest thing to teach. It's easier than MIG welding, and everybody thinks it's the other way around. Yeah, it's easy. But everybody says it. Oh, it's really fucking hard, because you get a lot of MIG welders and steel TIG welders attempting aluminium. It's just got a different set of rules.
Right. But
if you know the rules before you start, then it's easy. But I've boiled all these classes down to some really, really easy to learn information, and I'll get you welding aluminium in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, as part of the reason that I need to chat to you is on the Jigsaw. Obviously, I had lots of rear subframe issues.
Yeah.
Well, the rear subframe that's on the bike now, the seat mounting sort of lugs, one of them is snapped completely off. So that's either going to have to be totally refabricated, or I've still got the bit, and we might be able to weld that back on to the rear subframe. Maybe. Sure. I don't know. Yeah. Well, that's my idea. Is I'll come up to you with the bike, and we form a plan, and you teach me how to do it.
And I'll be back on the drink by then.
You will be by the end of it. Really? Yeah. Is anyone unteachable?
No, you'll be fine. I've got a fella called his name is Barry Robinson. He's 87, and he's coming. He's restoring a Morris Minor, and he's still learning things. And I wish I was as sharp as him. He's unfucking real. And he's got his iPhone, and it sends me messages on WhatsApp, and sends me emails, and drawings of what he wants to do, and he's so techy. He's really, really interesting guy. Really interesting guy. Hardest skill to teach, probably paint spraying, because it goes wrong for no reason.
In what sense?
Paint spraying, the hardest skill to teach. I just thought.
But how does it go wrong for no reason? What do you mean?
You put a layer of paint down, it'll just react with something underneath, and it'll just come up through it.
Right.
It's a cleanliness thing, and he's trying to get bits out of it, trying to explain people how explain to people how metallic paint works, because metallic paint is just a very thin layer of paint with obviously the shiny bits in it. If you put that paint on too thick, the shiny bits sink, and then it's not metallic anymore. It's just blue. So there's a girl, Connie. She's messaged on Instagram. I taught her to spray her Daytona. I'm not sure if you've seen it on her Instagram page. It's a blue Daytona, girl with pink hair. So she crashed her bike and fucked up all the fairings. We bought some new to her secondhand fairings, but they were black. So I taught her how to respray them, put the decals on and finish it. So she had a great time. And she is a dog groomer.
A dog groomer. I thought you said someone else for a minute. I do apologise. Pardon? What? Oh, awesome. That's cool, man. So you do spraying there as well? The whole shebang?
Everything.
Bloody hell, man.
So we've got people from Triumph, Royal Enfield, Norton, Jaguar Land Rover, London Taxi Company, Maving Electric Motorcycles. They're all members here, and they use our place because their places don't have the kit.
What?
Yes.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Why? Right, you need someone on your marketing, Bob. you need someone on the marketing to shout from the rooftops about this. That's incredible. So actual industry is using your workshop.
Yeah, about 30% of my business is business to business. So I go to, I'm an official welding trainer for Jaguar Land Rover.
Uh-huh.
So I go to Jaguar Land Rover and I teach them how to weld.
Bloody hell. Fucking hell, Bob. You're a man of many talents, aren't you? Keep that quiet. Right. If people, whereabouts are you? Hinckley. I suppose it doesn't really matter, does it? Right. If you've got marketing expertise and you're willing to have a chat with Bob, links are down below.
I have to chat with Maria, not me. I do the welding. She takes care of that stuff. She's the brains. Okay. She's the brains there.
Chris's second question: what's the most important tool to buy for bike servicing? Kettle.
That's a good one. What's for bike servicing? It's not even so much one tool, just a range of a few. Like the only need is a set of spanners, a basic Halford's toolkit it's about 600 or 700 mil long, 500 mil wide. It's a big black box. Get one of them. You can totally disassemble your bike and put it back together in the same night. Fucking brilliant. I have them here. And every time I break one, I just bring it back and get it replaced. And it saves me having to lend out my snap-on and stuff. And a snap-on spanner is probably the price of a full kit of Halford stuff. But there's still a spanner. It still opens a 17 mil nut either way.
Why is that? Why is snap-on kit so expensive?
Why is an M5 more expensive than a Yaris? They both bring you to Tesco. Just one does it a bit nicer. When you're using the snap-on stuff, it feels a bit better in your hand. It's a little bit more positive. It's surprisingly enough harder to drop. And when it goes onto a nut, it kind of snaps on and it's less likely to round. So just tiny little bits of improvement. But if you're working on stuff 7 days a week, it's worth it. If you're not, then Halford stuff is fine. I use Halford stuff all the time.
Yeah. I think I've got a Halford set in the garage. Pristine.
Yeah.
Probably still got the cellophane around it. Yeah. And last one from Chris. Favourite biscuit to go with the brew?
Oh, I'm not a big biscuit man. The bourbons.
Oh, yeah. The chocolate bourbons.
Chocolate bourbon, yeah.
I'm a chocolate hobnob man, me.
I had a few of those yesterday.
It's like crack cocaine. Literally, if my wife ever buys a packet, if once it's open, I'll eat the whole packet in one hit. Just gone.
I'm the same. I'm not big into biscuits. I could go months without eating biscuits. If somebody brings a pack and puts them on the counter, I'll eat every one of them. And then not think about biscuits again for another 6 months.
Yeah, I'm a proper glutton. I'm the same. I can go without stuff, no problem at all. But when I pull the pin and I do it, then I am invested. I'm all in. It's mine. Right, last one from Patreon. Chris in Dubai. How you doing, Chris? Hope you're all well. Being a proud owner of a KTM Super Duke myself, without any issues so far, are KTM really as unreliable as people say?
No.
Not these days.
They're fucking brilliant. absolutely fucking brilliant. I've had a few. I can't remember how many, but I had the one that I had was notoriously bad, the 990 Super Duke Ore.
Yeah.
And I rode that across. I brought it from 8,000 miles to 16,000 miles, serviced it, but I never had an issue with it. Never once did I have a single issue. It was one of the most reliable bikes I've had. I fucking loved it. Absolutely, I'd have it back again in the morning. It just tried to kill me all the time. It's hilarious. But I see, what do I see coming in? You get your usual Italian issues like you see Ducatis a lot. You see a lot of bandits give trouble, and
Really?
they've got. I see bandits in here a lot, but it's probably because they're so fucking old. Like bandits are probably the only bike that's old out there in the road. Nobody rides old bikes in the road anymore. So, but bandits are still using computer bikes, so maybe that's why I see them. But I don't really think there's an unreliable bike out there. I don't know where this KTM rep came from. A lot of shit talk at a lot of bike nights.
There is, but I think historically KTMs were fairly unreliable, as were Ducatis and Aprilias and all this sort of stuff. These days, it's not the mechanical side of things with KTMs. These days, it's the electrical issues, the little gremlins that they have. And I've said this before on here, in that out of the KTMs I've had from the press department, I think only one I've ever had a mechanical issue, and that was simply a little washer. The washer failed and it just dumped all its fluids. That's all it was. But the other ones, I've always had some form of electrical issue. So it's just a fault, a fault code will come up on the dash. So it never stops you riding. But it's always in the back of my mind that if that was my bike, I would then have to get it to a dealership to get that fault code read and then cancelled off so it's not on the dash anymore. It's all stuff like that. And but I do agree with you. The reputation for reliability it's unfounded now in the modern ones.
But the last, I hate bike nights, normal ones, because you just go and there's a lot of people that are hobbyist bikers talking shit. And they just make things up to sound like they know shit.
Yeah.
And it just gets passed on, like this reputation that KTM's have. Yeah, back in like when there was like the 640s and stuff, the LC4s, they were a bag of shit.
Yeah.
That probably gave the entire business a reputation because it was just one bad bike. But everybody's got a bad bike. But yeah, I think they're fine. I think they're brilliant. I really love them. I love KTMs. I love what they're doing because they're the only bike out there that makes a fucking motorbike.
Yeah.
Everything like
a rider's bike.
Yeah, Triumph are just pinnacle and just sterile. I wouldn't buy one because they're just so fucking boring. I love the MT-07 and the T7, the Tenere. They're cool because they're wide. And I like what else do I like? I like mad bikes. I like fucking crazy.
You like
bikes.
a visceral experience, don't you?
Yeah.
You like the engagement, the sound, the look, everything. No, I get that. Yeah. I've always said it because obviously the thing between the GS and the KTM Super Adventure, you're either a KTM rider or you're the GS rider, aren't you? But whereas I fully put my hand up and go, the KTM's the better riding bike. Like that's the bike that's going to put the smile on your face. That's the bike that's going to, it's going to give you the stiffy. It's going to make you, when you open the garage door or you shut the garage door, that's the one that you turn around and have another look at. It's that bike that grips the soul. Yeah. But I'll always own the GS. Just because for me, it does everything I need. It's reliable, and if something does go wrong, the whole BMW brand package is behind it. And you get the odd bad dealership, but on the whole, most of them are pretty damn good, and they just sort it and it's dealt with. And I just think if KTM can nail that, if they can nail the quality assurance and across their whole dealership network, if every KTM dealership, when you turn up there with an issue with your bike, if you're dealt with the way that a good BMW dealership deals with you, KTM will walk away with it. But the prices will go up because they're going to have to be able to fund that. It's the reason part of the reason BMW is so expensive is because they have that whole brand behind it, that one-stop experience that most of the dealerships give you. But, KTM's definitely the better riding bike for sure. Anyway, never mind. Right, that's all the Patreon questions, and we've got some Insta ones now. You've had a little look at some of these Insta ones. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Where are we? So this is Instagram. I'll leave the links down below. Make sure you're following TeapotOne Insta and the Machine Shop as well. All the links will be down there. First one, Sean or Sean Clifford. Glad the podcasts are back. Thank you very much. Hope you guys are doing good. Question for both of you. Favorite song of all time? Cheers from Quebec. Oh, favorite song.
That's not fair, because I go through phases. I listen to different bands. I love music. Music constantly on here. We all listen to different music, so it's a big swirling pool of different genres here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an unfair question, because I go, oh, I love this song. Next month I love that song. Next month I love that song. So I think my Spotify rap was somewhere between an Australian punk band called The Chats, some screamy metal music, and Florence and the Machine and Talking Heads. I think Talking Heads rates my most listened to song as This Must Be the Place, Naive Melody by Talking Head. So
what would be a karaoke song?
Oh fuck. Karaoke song. Probably something by Paolo Nutini, because the voice kind of suits him. A Scottish man like yourself.
You don't hear anything about Paolo anymore, do you?
No,
is he still on the scene?
The clue.
He's an amazing voice. Absolutely stunning voice.
Oh, if I was gay, fuck, I don't need to be gay. He's shag him anyway.
Moving on. I think for me it's got to be Blues Brothers. It's got to be Sweet Home Chicago. I love that version of Sweet Home Chicago. It's just, I love that sort of music. I love sort of blues, boogie woogie. I love all that. Right, late on the breaks. Awesome. Cheers. Mike's coming on, actually. He's coming on this one. Mike works at M&P over in Wales. The Machine Shop. Can I ask my own questions? In your opinion, who's the best looking member of the TMS team? This is to you. Motor Jim, what made you want to start the Machine Shop?
I worked for one of the motorcycle factories, and we weren't allowed to use the workshops to do the work we needed to do. So there'd be like a mill or a lathe there, and we'd go, oh, we need to make this part for this bike. Can I make it on the machine? They're, oh, health and safety, we're not allowed to use the equipment that we have in this fucking factory. And then we'd have to send it out, and then it cost hundreds of pounds to do it, and you have to wait 2 weeks for it to come back.
Why is that then? Why would they not let you use the equipment that's there?
Safety. You have no idea how bad it is out there. It's fucking stupid. You just can't do anything. You can't.
Why have they got the machines then if you can't use them?
Well, the whole idea of it is so you can make the parts, but they might be there for like 20 years. And then it gets to a point where health and safety, the people that are involved in health and safety, they try and improve every year. Oh, this isn't very safe. We're going to change it. Oh, you can't do that anymore. And it's just a little bit, by little bit, by little bit, by little bit.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, well, you can't use a big mill anymore because they're very dangerous. And you're like, all right, fair enough. Can I use that instead? Yeah, you can use that one, that different machine. The next year, they want to make the place a little bit safer and go, that machine could cause a problem. Let's just not use that anymore. All the way down to you're not allowed to use a hacksaw anymore. Yeah. Like, you have to wear fucking safety goggles with a hacksaw. Who the fuck has ever got a fucking piece of metal flinging off something with a hacksaw? Like, fuck off.
Do you know the thing is? Somebody somewhere must have, surely, at some point, somebody must have.
I don't believe it, Bruce. I don't fucking believe it. I've worked in this kind of industry, 16 years. And you know me, I'm a bit loose. But I've still got my fingers. I've never damaged myself. And I have seen people doing dodgy shit, and I see it every day here. But nobody wants to hurt themselves. You go up and you say, look, this might cause an issue. Is there a different way we can do it? Yeah, sound. And that's how we do it here. Because I'm not sure if you can see him, but there's cameras on everything. We're constantly watching everything.
Oh, yeah, it's hanging from the sort of rafter, the rigging. Yeah.
Everything's monitored all the time. So if I'm not stood beside them, I'm watching them on the cameras or on my desk or on my phone. Or there's one right beside the blade on the bandsaw. So when somebody inevitably cuts their fingers off, I've got some really good gore footage.
You've invested heavily, haven't you, in the sort of security and safety side of this whole operation.
That's why we're the only people doing it, because nobody else has been able to find a way around it. And we're quite compliant. Our assessment was largely compliant. Is what was written on the report. So not perfect, but largely compliant.
Yeah.
But it's all about being sensible about it, because if I was to follow the health and safety rule book, I'd be fucked. I wouldn't be able to start this business. And that's what other people do. They follow the health and safety road book, and they don't take any chances.
Yeah.
I'm taking chances left, right, and centre. But that's like I touched on earlier. I'm good at taking chances, and I've got a vision.
Yeah.
And but I do it in a sensible way. We think about it. We look at the machine, right? How can we use that machine safely without compromising its functionality?
Yeah.
And that's how we go into everything. What's the most written? A lot of people look at things and go, there's loads of reasons why we shouldn't do it. And I'll say, well, let's find some reasons or ways around it. Let's make it safer so we can do it. And it's just about being sensible and showing people, don't do this, don't do that, be fine. Don't be a fool.
And being the type of person to accept personal responsibility, isn't it? It's like, you plainly, when you go there, you have to be the type of person who, if you make that decision to use that bit of equipment, then you're going to be shown how to operate it properly and effectively. But it's also down to you to an extent, not to be a fucking idiot, and to think, as you just said, to think about your actions and the processes you're going to do and the possible consequences of them, and identify risks yourself, isn't there?
There's another problem I have with health and safety. Everything that you said there is correct. They don't see it like that. They see it that I've got a duty of care to keep them safe, whether they make a bad decision or not. So if they decide, I've told them not to put their hand in the lathe.
Yeah.
I've shown them a video not to put their hand in the lathe.
Yeah.
I've made all the safety fucking paraphernalia around it. I've given them a key card. I've cut out switches. I've got fucking everything on it. And he goes, and puts his hand in. I'm still liable. Why?
Which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
When they go to court, they won't sue me directly. They'll sue my insurance company. My insurance company will go, well, he's claiming for 12 grand. Court fees are probably going to be 20 grand if we fight this. Let's just pay the 12. So he wins.
It sets a precedence, doesn't it?
My premium goes up.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I hate the entire fucking industry. It's
a business, isn't it?
Backward.
Yeah.
It's bollocks. I don't care about being a business. Everybody needs to make money, but it's so poorly regulated, and it's done on the back of we need to keep people safe. I'm like, fuck people being safe. You need to take care of the economy, as far as I'm concerned, because you might keep these people safe, but you're also choking the country.
Yeah.
With all this health and safety regulation that you see fucking everywhere, choking everything up, making businesses very lethargic, and the amount of money we've invested into health and safety in this business is equal to the setup cost of the machinery.
Wow.
Okay, so I would have twice the amount of kit or twice the premises if the health and safety would fuck off and leave me alone and allow me to do it the way I think it should be done.
Yeah.
That's not the rules. Who made the rules? Some cunt that went to done a university degree in health and safety has never seen the inside of a workshop before. Yeah. So he's more qualified than me. And he's making the rules. It fucking right pisses me off. Really fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, my word choice there when I said it's a business was wrong. I didn't mean business. I meant it's an enterprise, as in elements within the insurance, legal, health and safety. They've obviously people have got together and gone, we can make a buck or two out of this. Like it's a nice little enterprise, isn't it? Health and safety come forward and they charge you to get this qualification, accreditation, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't, then there's a penalty for that, which is you're going to get sued, you're going to be liable for something. So then the insurance companies and the solicitors that deal with all this, everyone's getting a cut. Everyone's making some money out of it, aren't they? And then once, as you said, once they win, we can bring in some more accreditation and more rules and regulations that are needed, which just casts the net even wider for the next potential victim or whatever it is. Yeah, you're right. There's just got to be, at what point do we go, right, enough is enough? That is your fault. You've been told how to do it. You've been told not to do that. You've done it. Your fault now. You're totally liable. When's that going to happen? Are we ever going to get back to that?
I think it would happen if it was allowed to go to court. But the insurance companies won't take a risk. They'd rather pay out and then charge me more next year. It's safer for them.
Yeah. Was that cyclical thing then? Because the insurance company, they're still making money, aren't they? They're paying out, but okay, we'll just recoup it by putting everyone's prices up.
Yeah. The judge's job is to judge. He'll say, well, you're right, you're wrong. Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot. Yeah.
You've done enough. You're a fucking idiot. And then it gets thrown out. He doesn't get a penny because you've done everything. But he never gets that far. That's the issue.
Oh, right. Next question. Cheers for that, Jim. Another one from Motor Jim. Why you so smexy, bruh? Who's Motor Jim?
Do you know Jim?
No.
Motor Jim, TikToker.
Ah, right. I don't do TikTok.
He came to us at the show, at the NEC show, because he loved this bike. And Joe, he's the most lovely fella. Like, he's just, when you talk to like a 6 or 7 year old and they're just chatting, they're just happy to be alive. They're like, listen to this and talking about that, and fucking goes on. Yeah, and he's like that, but he's grown, man. And he's fucking, like, when he comes up here and I'm busy, I feel quite rude sometimes, because when I'm busy, I'm fucking laser focused.
Yeah.
And he'll be asking me questions and talking to me about that. I'm like, I just want to go, fuck off. But I can't do it. It'd be like kicking a puppy. And so I try and take some time and actually, because when you spend some time when we were changing his radiator, he's fucking lovely. Like, there's not a bad bone in him whatsoever. He's absolutely brilliant. We changed his radiator together and he filmed it and he's going to be putting on his TikTok. But this fucker, he's like 180,000 followers on Instagram.
Jesus.
Like millions of views on TikTok. Like, he's up there. He's up there. And I'd not really heard of him until the NEC. So literally known weeks. But there's like loads of new YouTubers and TikTokers and Instagram people are just like coming out of fucking just arriving with thousands of followers and fair play to them. Like, it's getting out there, and like this motovlogging stuff is really taking off. It seems to be very popular with people. So we're trying to get some of them in and get them involved in it and teach their audience that this stuff is, tighten your own chain, change your own oil, that sort of stuff. You don't need a mechanic to do this. So we're going to work with them a bit more. And he's a great guy.
Yeah, I started a TikTok account, but then I got freaked out by all the like security implications that everyone was saying. You're handing over your phone to China, and it was just like, oh god, no. So I just stopped doing all my TikToks. Just forgot about it.
It's banned in America now, isn't it? You can't get it in America. Yeah. I mean, it would be bad if they think it's bad.
I know a couple of people through my previous life in like the American Secret Service, and I know some folk in MI5, MI6, and all this sort of stuff, and they were just like, nah, just don't have that on your phone. They're like, just don't access it, because you basically, your phone's a walking camera, microphone. It's got everything you ever do online, which effectively is everything you ever do anymore, isn't it? I do everything on my phone. He said all of that they've got. You've just signed it away. As soon as you start a TikTok account, you're just saying to them, you can have access to everything in your phone, and you can know exactly where I am. You can listen to what I'm doing. You can do everything. Which, at the end of the day, if people want to know that, there's ways and means they can do all that anyway. But it's just really easy if you just open up the TikTok. So yeah, I didn't bother. But anyway, never mind. I can't dance anyway. I can't do all those stupid dances. I'm fucking old, am I?
Right. That's what we're about here.
Yeah. Cheers. We'll go up there. We'll do a TikTok, will we? Moto Pink. I've had many late nights at the machine shop where Bob taught me how to prep and respray my panels, do a burnout, pop a wheelie, etc. The machine shop has been a place to learn and let loose, which is why it's one of my favourite places. What was the first thing you did when TMS opened?
Thank you, Connie. Remember I mentioned Connie earlier, she sprayed her Daytona blue.
Yes. That's Moto Pink, right.
Have you got Instagram open there?
Yes.
Just click on her name there and you'll see the blue bike, and that's we sprayed that. What was the
I can see it there, yeah. Yes, Daytona. You sprayed that?
She sprayed that. I taught her to spray.
Wow. Good on you.
She's the dog groomer.
The dog room, yeah, that Daytona is beautiful, isn't it? Have you seen the new one that they've brought out? That's not a Daytona.
I'm not actually. It looks a bit. I've seen a silhouette of it, but
that's not the Daytona. My mate had the black and gold Daytona. That's a Daytona. The one that Connie's got. That's a Daytona.
Yeah.
Not this thing they've brought out now. So what did you do when it first opened?
I think I did a burnout, like a donut on the floor.
In the shop?
Yeah, definitely.
Why wouldn't you?
What was I? I can't remember. First thing I did start moving parts in, moving machines in. I started doing the wiring. That took me. It took me about 2 months to paint the walls, do all the wiring, put all the machines in place. And once I had everything in there, I kind of sat there and kind of went, customers. I need customers.
Yeah. There's something missing.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, build a ship and they will come. What was it?
Yeah, build it and they will come.
Yeah, build it and they will come. And that's a lie. That's a fucking lie. That was a big job.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
So just painting, that sort of stuff. But I did do a burnout once I got my bike here before I put anything in place. So yeah, probably had a few pints as well.
Right, next one. It's you again. Asking who's the best looking member of the TMS team. Have you done that on all the platforms? Moto Pink again, Connie. Does TMF have a logo? If so, why is it fuck off? You're sort of renowned. You're renowned for your warm and welcoming nature.
Yes, I've got a talent for being really offensive, but not meaning it. As in, I can call you a cunt. I can call you an ugly bastard. I can say like really wild shit to people, and they just laugh it off because I stare them in the eye and smile, and it's just nice. It's my way of venting. I'm like,
it's the Irish charm.
You fucking lazy, useless bastard, get out of the way. But I'll be screaming it, not in an aggressive way, just moaning, and everybody just laughs. So yeah, if there's too many people like idle or not idle, waiting for my attention, and another person comes at me, I'm like, "Will you fuck off?" I'll just scream at the top of my fucking. But it's funny. It's funny. It's not abusive, I think.
Again, it's down to attracting the right people there, isn't it? Yeah.
Need a bit of thick skin to be here.
Moto Gym again. What made you want to start the machine shop? Well, we covered that, didn't we? Yeah. Kevin K175. What's the best motorbike trip you've ever done?
Oh, that would be the probably the going down to where's the minefield? Is it
Bosnia?
Bosnia. Either Bosnia or Norway. I fucking love Norway.
Oh wow, where'd you go in Norway?
And went up just a bit north of Oslo, but we went across like northwestish.
Yeah.
We didn't go all the way up, but we just rode around. We picked a few places, like middle of the day, about 12 o'clock. We'll say, look, we need to find somewhere to stay. So we pick a place within a 5-hour ride and go there and stay there. Yeah. So we just rode around for a few days. I fucking love it. Absolutely
beautiful, isn't it? Stunningly beautiful place.
Yeah, I've been across India as well.
Oh wow!
Shit all. Don't say wow. Okay.
I'd love to go to India. I'd love to go. Just travel.
Yeah, it's grand. I'm glad I went. But I did get to see a lot of the shitty places though. So maybe I didn't get to see the nice areas. I was over there working for a few motorbike factories, and got over sorting out their processes and teaching them how to build bikes better. So I got to see a lot of the industrial areas, like a lot of the poorer areas. So I'd go back, but I wouldn't go back to the areas that I was in.
Yeah. I had a mate of mine, and he comes from the mining industry. Obviously, that's pretty much non-existent now here in the UK, but it's still rife out in India. So he was out in India, working out there, and hated it. Just hated it. He was like, some of the places that he was working in, he's eating the local food, which when you're a pie and mash type boy, all of a sudden he's eating the local food and then like literally having to poo in buckets. And I think the culture shock really got to him. And it was hard graft where he was working. So he did it.
Most of the issues there are so easily solved, and they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like, it just annoyed me. I was just irritated while I was there. I was like, come on. Like, you could just clean that thing, or put the rubbish in the bin.
Yeah.
Don't just put them in the whatever. Yeah.
It's like a wholesale culture change, though, isn't it? It's like I remember doing crossing Indonesia, and I remember being on one of the ferries doing the island hopping, and there were bins on the ferry, but all the locals were just chucking stuff over the side of the boat into the sea, and it was really fucking me off because this place is stunningly beautiful, but it's just loads of shit in the sea and in the rivers and everywhere you look. There's just rubbish everywhere. So I was making a big deal about getting up and walking across and putting my rubbish into the bin. You're on the boat for like 24 hours. And I remember when we pulled into exactly. And when we pulled into the port, I remember the staff went round the boat emptying all the bins and taking the bin liners out and tying them all up. And then they literally walked to the side of the boat and chucked it all in the sea, in the bags. And I was just like, what? You're like, it's nuts. This is crazy.
I'm waiting for it myself. And then I came back from India and all the effort we're putting into like separate your recycling from your...
Yeah.
I'm like, why the fuck am I bothered? The world's fucked.
It's farcical, isn't it? Yeah.
There's 1.3 billion of those fuckers over there just chucking shit everywhere. And I'm here trying to fucking scrape out jam jars. Fuck off. A waste of time.
Anyway. Where were we? Oh, what's Bob's plans? This is Kieran Young Pro. What's Bob's plans for the machine shop this year?
This year, get this place working without me being here. In the background, I'm planning our next big step. So, machine shop's plans to work without me. My own plans is to build the next machine shop.
Right. Do you want to divulge any more on that or not? Don't worry, you don't need to.
We'll go change of premises, we'll say. That's it.
Okay. Interesting. I remember you speaking about we'll not go into the details on here, but in the last podcast, I remember you talking about something. So it'd be interesting to see if that is still the direction you're looking at. We can chat about that later. Moto Jim again, why you so... This is just... Has he already asked that? Moto Jim's asked, why are you so schmexy, bro? Oh, it's another. It's asked again. Pitography. What's your proudest creation through your career with bikes, other than the machine shop?
Probably the TT bikes I built with Norton. Because I'm mostly interested in Irish road racing. So I built a bike for Davo Johnson, Josh Brooks, Peter Hickman, Davey Todd, John McGuinness. I had a picture of John McGuinness on my bedroom wall when I was a kid, and I ended up building a bike for him. It wasn't competitive, or he didn't do very good, or a bit of a shit show. But still very proud of it, and managed to be able to do something like that. So it's amazing. It was just the other factors were at play. Yeah. So
that's very diplomatically put, Bob. That's very diplomatically put.
I'm very proud of what I've done there, but it didn't work out. It could have worked out, but it didn't work out. It's been discussed a million times. I won't bother going into it. The whole Garnier era, Norton. Whatever. But yeah, I fucking love that. Other things, just race bikes. I love racing.
But what do you? I mean, when you say build the bike, are you sort of pretty much doing everything, or is there any particular aspect of a race bike that you specialize in?
So it was me and a team of people. So chassis, swing arms, petrol tanks, and I was working with a guy called Steve Bull, absolutely fantastic fabricator, and I learned most of my skills from him. I could do bits and pieces before, but he really brought me onto the next level. But yeah, it was. We didn't make the engine, but we made pretty much everything else. So so the chassis, swing arm, petrol tanks, Supreme, all that stuff.
I didn't realize like they would fabricate everything in house. I just sort of assumed you'd buy bits and just bolt it all in. So it's all fabricated.
Absolutely, bespoke what Norton was doing was really special. What was really special. They're not doing that anymore. It's slightly different. But I loved my time there, to be honest. Absolutely loved it. I learned so much there, and I really it was like going to the army. Another way, you never really know what you're capable of until you go to the army, and they push you and push you and push you. It was like that in Norton. because fucking hell, I always pushed there. I had to do things, and fucking yeah, because I'm a grafter anyway, and I went to next level there, and now I've got all those skills. I know what I can do. That's why I had the bravery to start this place. Because they say owning your own business is the hardest thing you'll ever do. And I'm like, I worked for Norton.
Yeah. What do you think about where it's at? Well, this is maybe putting you on the spot, but where Norton is at now?
I'm not mad about it. Honestly.
No.
I think what it had was a bit James Bond. It was a bit badass. It was British gentleman, but a cheeky British gentleman, like a bit of a risk taker, a bit of a maverick about him. And now they've just removed that, and now it's just a bike with Norton written on it. And it
it's too clinical almost now.
Not even, it's got no attitude to it. Like the brand has no attitude. It's just lost everything. Before it was Garner, and Garner's, a risk taker and an entrepreneur and a businessman. And people that are buying those bikes are that kind of type of person as well, because they're the only people that have the money to buy them. If that makes sense. Like if you're watching a James Bond movie and the villain is riding a motorbike, he'd ride a Norton from Garner to Norton. He'd ride that V4 because it was the most badass thing that was ever fucking built.
It's gorgeous, just beautiful machine.
Yeah, it's still one of my favorite bikes ever. Not because I worked on it, but because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the most beautiful bike out there. That stunning, love it. Yeah. Kevin K175 again. Tell us about any four-wheel mishaps you've had. Now, there's plainly more of a story here. Is that Kevin in the background, Kevin?
Yes.
Right, four-wheel mishaps.
So I texted him earlier. I was like, what do you mean four-wheel mishaps? And he and I couldn't think of anything. And then he just started reaming them off. There was an MX-5 that, so this all happened in Mexico on private property.
Obviously.
Yeah. And
it's like marker. Hyundai i10.
I wrote off a Hyundai i10 in Norway one time. I rented a car and I got the extra insurance, 15 quid. Yeah. And that's when I realized, holidays when I realized it's cheaper to rent a car than it is to go karting.
Really?
Yeah, it is. 15 quid for extra insurance. And I wrote the thing off. I hit a snowbank and turned it on its side. That was one. The other one was we ran out of beer and I'd rented a Mokka for some reason. Remember the Vauxhall Moccas?
No. What's that?
It was Mom's car. Yeah.
Little SUV.
A little SUV.
Right.
And we'd ran out of beer, so we're fucking. It's snowing outside. We'll go down to the closest shop, but it's fucking snowing. So we'll jump in the car and we'll go down. So this is like down the lane, across the main road, and into the car park. But as soon as I came into the car park, I was dicking around and I pulled up the handbrake and slid it sideways. But into one of the lanes. But as I went into one of the lanes, there's a cop car coming up towards me.
Oh. No. Timing, Bob.
Shit. So I was like, kind of little wave at the window. I was like, sorry. I slipped. I was in reverse, straightened up and just drove again. And I was like, there's about 7 of us in the back of the car. Oh, fuck's sake. This is on private property. Again, a few beers deep, I'd realised that I'd never drifted a car before. And
hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. And my friend, who's a senior design engineer for McLaren and a former ex-Irish racer, he was like, we'll use an MX-5 outside.
You may as well just give their name. You sort of narrowed it down there a wee bit.
I know, yeah. And so we jumped into MX-5. We pulled out onto the private property, and I was like, right, I've seen Tokyo Drift. You just stand on that one on the right, and then just like lift your foot off the clutch really fast, and you're drifting. Yeah. So I did that, and the car took off, and I got into this nice big slide, and it was brilliant. But I kind of overcorrected, and it snapped, and just fucked off that way.
Oh.
And went through about 5 meters of the farm fencing and hit a tree and bounced off the tree and kind of landed, and we just kind of looked at each other. Hey!
9.8.
Right?
9.8. Score.
9.8. Yeah, that was banging. That was great fun. And then I had to put that car back together. Well, I think that's about it.
Wins.
What?
Wins.
That's the main ones. That's the least incriminating ones.
I think we're finding out why Bob's not drinking at the moment. Next one.
On repairs.
What's that?
It's saving me money on repairs.
The Irish Rider. Mine's a two-part question. Barry's or Lion's tea? And is it true you stole your beard from a homeless man in Amsterdam?
Barry's or Lions. Okay, so that's two manufacturers of tea bags that are sold in Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And everybody knows about like the north and south divide in Ireland.
Yeah.
That's nothing compared to tea bags.
Seriously?
Yeah, nothing. There's like these riots about this. Right? There's riots about this. So I think I'm a Lions man. I can't remember. I think I'm a Lions man. It's been so long since I had a decent cup of tea.
Are you a milk first or milk last man?
I'm a milk last man.
Try milk first. Just try. Just try.
Yeah. And leave the tea bag in.
Yeah, right. This is the way I was told to do it, and I swear, like my wife was vehemently against this, and then I made a cup of tea that way, and she's like definitely she says tea's better. So what you do is you put just a dribble of milk, if you like a nice strong brew, I mean. So it's just a tiny dribble of milk in the cup first, then water, and then once you've got your water to the level you want, drop the tea bag in, leave it for a couple of minutes, squeeze, depending on how strong you want that. And I don't know why, but it just seems to make a better brew.
I'll give it a go.
Try. And let me know what you think. The amount of times I talk about this in like podcast or videos, right? And you get the usual torrent of abuse from people going, you're not a Scotsman, call yourself a Celt, blah, 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 blah. But then every now and then you get the odd little comment where somebody went, okay, now I actually tried that. And you're right, it's a better cup of tea. You're like, yes, told you.
Milk in.
Milk?
Milk in. Fill it up with hot water.
Yep.
Then put the tea bag in.
Yeah. Guy Martin talked about it in Closer to the Edge, the TT documentary film. He talked about it in there, and it's something to do with it makes an emulsion or something. I don't know what the science is behind it, but he goes on about it, and it's right. The tea is actually it tastes better. Just try and see what you think.
Yeah, we'll try after this.
And beard from a homeless man in Amsterdam.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, it's actually just glued on. It's glued on, and it wasn't a man.
And it wasn't a beard. Yeah. Cheers for that one, Irish Rider. Maria, how long are the 4-hour welding lessons? Come on, what's the story behind this?
So that's Maria that you see on our Instagram page. Shiovska is her name. She's over in Bulgaria at the moment. So hi, Maria. How long is a 4-hour welding lesson? I get the most stupid questions into my inbox from my website. So people bypass all the information they want and go straight to the contact us page and ask me stupid shit. Yeah. Like, how long is a welding lesson? And how much does it cost? And just those questions. And it's just, I get about 10 of them a day. They just bypass it. Learn to weld for £120, 4-hour welding lesson. Bypass that.
Yeah. How much is the welding lesson? Yeah. You just get asked stupid stuff like that. Yeah. I get it all the time in the video. You can see people comment on a video before they've actually watched it. And they ask what's in the video. And you're just like, it's literally that's answered in the first 2 minutes. You've not even watched that. I thought we were nearly done questions, but there was a little plus sign, so I've tapped it, and there's a load more. Are you okay for time, or do you need to shoot?
Yeah, of course.
Right, okay. Okay, Ant Walton 27. Bob, is the TMS Superbike limited to the track, or have you ever been tempted to take it out for shits and giggles? Another story?
Hi, Ant. Idle Talks?
Mm-hmm.
Idle Talk's like 5 or 10 minutes away from me.
All right.
Yeah. And I've got a 206 horsepower S1000 as my race bike. It's a proper mean piece of kit.
Yeah.
That's what I use for track days and instructing and racing. And I decided, my girlfriend at the time had just bought a new KTM and she wanted to go out, and course, don't have a road bike because I just race. I was like, fuck it, I'll go out on the track bike. So I put it up on the paddock stands in here. And I had to put the tire warmers on because you can't ride this bike on the road without tire warmers. And so I put the tire warmers on, let it warm up for an hour, and then fucking belted off down to idle torque, all taxed and insured and MOT'd.
Obviously.
And well, I let her get a bit ahead of me, and I passed her about in Mexico.
Yeah.
Don't okay, right. I passed her quite fast. Yeah. And then turned up to idle torque, and everybody was there, and they're like Triumph Scramblers and every Harleys and stuff that people turn up to idle torque in.
Yeah.
And then I rolled in on this big loud fucking sports bike, all the graphics up the side of me, a pair of jeans and a jacket on. And then I was like, "Fuck, I don't have a side stand."
Oh Christ! Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I just leaned up against the wall and walked away from it. That was when we were trying to change our what was it? What people think of us, because people think we're a little bit sketchy.
Your reputation,
yeah, our reputation, yeah. And I was like, we'll go down.
Why, Bob?
I know. Well, the thing is, like, as Kevin said, it's all victimless crimes. Nobody gets hurt. Our bike nights are a bit fucking wild, but nobody gets hurt. There's no drugs. There's no fighting. There's no stolen bikes. It's just proper biker fun.
Yeah.
Harmless.
Your Honour.
Yeah.
And here rests the defence.
I turned up to idle torque on this bike, just going to somebody else's event to say hello and introduce myself. But of course, in my head, this is a totally normal thing to do. But I turned up there on this fucking bike with no number plate on slicks. And of course, that's big, like, criminal. Yeah. It made everything worse. So
I'm trying to see what's going on here, man, because I've pushed that little plus sign for more questions, more comments on Insta, and it's almost like it's taken the ones we've gone at the top and added them to the bottom. So I'm just trying to look through, because there's a couple that we've not been through yet.
Okay, loads of questions this time.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, shed loads, isn't there? Okay, Figgle. You've taught a lot of people the skills they need to progress with their projects. Which is your favourite of your customers' projects, and why?
I helped a guy restore a CBR 400 NC23 from mid-90s. And I fucking love them, because when I was 17, I wanted one of them. That was the big boy bike. That was the bike to have. And I seen it on the petrol station when I was 17. I was like, I want that so much. And we restored his back to brand new. And I loved every minute of it. And I took it for a ride after, and it was just such a beautiful little bike. I ended up buying a chassis and an engine. I'm going to build it around myself now. So that's one of them. But I see so many bikes coming through here, and it's always like, it's not so much the bike, it's what people do on them. So a bike, Lonely Farts Club Tour, he's asked a question on there somewhere. He built a BMW GS 650 here and rode it to fucking halfway down Africa somewhere. And it was just a bit of fun. Yeah, he done a really good job in it. It broke down a million times and stuff, and it was. But it's not so much the bike I love; it's what people do with them.
Yeah, the journeys, the adventures that then takes them on.
Yeah.
Nice. Next one, PW Electrical 82. Is it true that Bob is really English, but he got kicked by a horse when he was a teenager and now just talks funny?
That is true. Another true story. Yeah. Just like the beard. I kicked to the temple.
We're leaving it at that. Right. This one looks like it's the last one. I can't see that one from the chap that had the 650. Oh, I've not seen that.
I might have been on something else. That's all right.
Yeah. Right. The last one on here is Sky BMTH. Boomth. Is Bob single? Do we know Sky?
I don't know Sky. No.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Hi, Sky.
You might want to get to know Sky.
Maybe. Yeah. I am single. Been single for 6 or 7 months now. I'm just kind of enjoying being single. I'm not committing too heavily to anything, and just enjoying it. There's been a few people that have probably dated for a while and moved on, that sort of stuff. But yes, and I'm single.
It's got to be hard though, man, with your sort of commitment to the business, and the hours that you put in there. I mean, it's like it's plainly evident. It's everything to you, it's life. So that's got to be hard to sort of have any kind of life outside of that.
You'd be surprised. It was like that. That's what ended my last relationship. I didn't take enough time away.
Yeah.
And to make it worse, I promised I would. And then So, but again, lessons learned, and it was a tough old time. But made some changes, sorted some stuff out, done the things I said I'd do, and we go again. So I do have a lot more spare time than I used to, and I'm not allowing myself to fall into that trap again.
Yeah.
I've got Maria. I've got loads of help here. Everybody's behind machine shop and want to push it forward. We've got a fucking army, Bruce. It's a fucking army. It's unbelievable. And they're all supporting, not just me, but they're supporting machine shop because they know what it can bring them, and they know what it can be and where they can go with it, and what it can do for everybody. Not just in bikes, but in cars and engineering and businesses and hobbies, and doesn't matter what you want to do. It's benefiting everybody. So yeah, I do have a bit more free time. They're all helping me out because I need the free time. Are you shooting off? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little.
That's the last question now, Bob. So we can.
I
end
know.
it.
Faith is going. So it's like it's -4 outside, and Faith is going riding home now.
Good on you. Take it easy, Faith. Nice to chat with you earlier. Take it easy. Yeah, mate. Like as an outsider, it is awesome to see where you are now, like where the machine shop is now from, where we chatted 3 years ago now, almost 3 years ago, where we chatted there and you had all these plans and these ideas. Well, you're there, it's like you're there and you can see that it's developed way beyond even where you were back at that point, like it just seems like a really professional outfit that's kept that fun and enthusiasm that you innately have. It's plainly evident that this is your passion and it's everything for you. But you can see where the business is and where it's going to go. Like you've got the drive there, and you're developing this team all behind you. It's going to be great to see where it goes, man. It really is. It's really interesting to see what the next stage is going to be.
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm trying not to take it too. I get pissed off at people that say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm very careful of that. Always very careful of that. I'll say I want to do something, and then I'll shut up.
Yeah.
Because it's all talk without action. We have to do it, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, you've got to be accountable, haven't you?
Exactly. So my plans, that's why I'm so quite tight-lipped about my plans. I know exactly where I want to be, but I'm not going to show you till I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say we're going to do this and going to do that. I've got plans. I've got a floor layout for my next shop. I've got a business plan all laid out. I've got the finances all laid out. I've got everything laid out. We're looking into planning permission. We're looking into fucking how we're going to fund it, how it's going to work out, staffing. We've got everything laid out. Like the planning that we've put into it in the last 6 months is unfucking real. We've got another year to go. Well, I don't want to talk about it because it's all talk without action. We have to do it, and then finally you might fucking visit.
Mate, honestly, off camera, I know we said this before, but I have an attainable thing in my mind that I need help with this, and it'll make good content. I'll learn something. It'll be not worthwhile. That's the wrong thing. There's an attainable thing in my head. Right, I need this doing. You're the man. So I'll come up, I'll get this seat thing that needs to be done on the Jigsaw. We'll chat about it beforehand anyway and figure out a plan for it and what needs to be done. But yeah, let's make it happen. Let's do it. I'm the same. I don't like to say I'm going to do something unless it's actually happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've already said on here that I'm going to be cycling around the UK, and I keep on going on about it. It keeps coming up in all these episodes. People won't let me forget about it, and I'm going to do it. I will do it. But it's like,
but it's like when, don't become one of them.
But it's like, you know, it's going to happen. But for me, it's logistics now. It's like, right, when do you do it? You know, it's like I haven't got enough time as it is, so it's. But it's going to have to happen because I've said it's going to happen, so it's got to happen. It's one of them things, isn't it? Anyway, right, dude. Before we go, floor's yours. Any shout outs you want to make? Any people you want to call? Whatever you want to do. Floor is yours. Go.
Yeah, just my team. Maria, Kevin, Del. I was getting ready to ride home. Fucking Jake, Jack. Everybody has helped us this year. Scott's been there. Fucking. I've already said you. Again. So Del again. I'd be lost without them. Ortec Welding Machinery have been absolutely fantastic to us. They're a really good company. They've kind of got the same values. They provide a really good service for a fair price, and they're just kind of helping the little man. So they're not interested in selling loads of welders to big factories. They kind of take care of people working in sheds. All the companies that have brought us into entertainment for them. So Motorcycle Live were a seriously impressive company to do work with because they were so well organized. I just couldn't wrap my head around how well organized they were. It was just like it's like inspiring almost. We've been to Malay Mile, they were great. We've been to ABR, and they're fantastic. We're going back there again next year. We've got all the festivals going to this year.
Just waiting for the bike to start in the background. Cool. Okay, and just do another little plug for your website. Where do people go if they want to get involved?
So our website is www.the-machine-shop.co.uk. All the information's on there. We've got the welding classes, the service your own bike classes. We've got a news page. We've got an events page, so you know what events that we're going to. We're going to motorcycle news, MCN's Excel show in London in February. We'll be there.
See you later, man. Take it easy. What's that?
We might see you down here sometime.
Yes, I know. We've just covered that. Yeah, I will come and see you. Hopefully this year, I will be to see you with a Jigsaw. I'll bring a Jigsaw.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
Right, ta-ra, pal.
What?
Yeah, and your socials as well, folks. I'll leave the website. I'll leave all the social links down below there. Have you got a YouTube channel as well?
We do have a YouTube channel, but the investment in trying to get it going is just insane.
Yeah.
Like for me to pay somebody to edit it, or like Maria to edit it and film it, it's just another person.
It's another thing, isn't it? Yeah.
So if all your subscribers and people that are watching this want to come down and get membership and help me, that'd be great.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so folks, check out the website. The socials will be there as well. So you got any questions, fire them Bob's way. The team will look after you. And I promise you, I'm doing it right now. I promise you, I will come see you. Hopefully this year. We'll have a chat. We'll have a chat via DMs and stuff, and we'll figure something out.
We're only 10 minutes off the M1. Mm-hmm. So if you're ever doing a tour up north with your boys, bring them in. I'll make them a cup of tea.
Right, you're on milk first, obviously.
Milk first. That fucking weird. I wrote it down there now.
Try it, and let me know what you think.
Not doubting you.
All right, dude. It's always a pleasure, Bob, chatting with you, man. It's your enthusiasm is infectious, mate. It's very motivating, and it's great to see that you're making things happen. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, dude, you look after yourself. Folks, hope you've enjoyed this one. Make sure you give Bob a follow and everything on there. And keep doing your thing. Look after those that you love. Get on out there whenever you can. But most importantly, live your life. Woo-ha! Cheers, dude.